Hi guys, welcome back to Chris Cowlin's YouTube channel for this League Cup semi-final game between Tottenham and Liverpool. This is the live watch-along, but we're not just on Chris's YouTube channel. We're also on Facebook, X, and Twitch, so please do get involved. Let's get a Q&A going in the comments. I'll try and answer as many questions throughout this watch-along as I possibly can. Of course, if you're not already a subscriber to Chris's channel, make sure you subscribe at Chris Cowlin. Give this video a like. The more likes we get, the more Tottenham fans will see this watch along, and the more engagement we can get in the comments. Also, I have a daily Tottenham and transfers channel myself. You can see it in the bottom left-hand corner there at Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. Come and give me a subscribe there. But it's the semi-final of the League Cup. Everyone has been talking for a few years now. A lot of Tottenham fans have been saying for a few years, I don't care about the league. I don't care about coming top four. I want a trophy. And here we are in a semi-final once again under Big Ange Postecoglou, who has been pretty forthright in saying that he always wins something in his experience of his management. He's always won something in his second season. And now we have a two-legged tie against the current best team in the land, a team who just turned us over 6-3 at our place a few weeks ago. It will not be easy, but you wouldn't be a Spurs fan like me if you didn't think somehow there's a chance. There is a chance. And I think the team he selected tonight is good. I'll go into the team selection, but he's firmed up the midfield a little bit, and I like the look of it. But let's see what happens. I'll tell you what the itinerary is for tonight, because there is Spurs content up the wazoo for you on Chris's channel all night. I will be doing the watch-along here. Chris is actually at the game, so check out his channel. Keep an eye on a different, open it in a different window and check out other updates he'll bring you throughout the night, including press conferences after the game and kind of fan videos, I guess, during the game as well. Then, after the game, after this watch-along, I will do a post-match reaction for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I will be talking to Spurs fans from around the world, and then that'll be all the way up to about 10:55, and then at about 11 o'clock, Chris will be back with the Spurs Chat podcast, where he will be joined by Craig Dearman, Simon Foxall, and Leo the Lion, no less. And one more thing before we get into the team news, guys. Absolutely delighted to announce once again that the Spurs Chat podcast, Chris's nightly podcast, has been nominated as a finalist in the Sports Podcast Awards 2025 in the Best Team Podcast category. Please do give it a vote if you haven't already. Chris works so hard to bring you so much Tottenham content, so do vote for the Spurs Chat podcast. There are links in the description box below as to how to vote, so just click on the links. The closing date for voting is the 13th of January, and the winner is announced on the 30th of January. We're only 7 minutes or so away from kickoff now, so let's get into that team news, guys. I guess the big news is our new signing from Slavia Prague this week for about £12 million, Antonin Kinski, or as he likes to be called, Tony. He has been picked in goal for his debut for the club tonight. He comes in for Brandon Austin, who played at the weekend in our 2-1 defeat by Newcastle. He got man of the match in that game. I thought he did well, Brandon Austin. I thought he was brave. He came out for all the crosses, all the set pieces, all the corners. But one thing that is clear is Kinski has more experience in terms of senior football by miles. Brandon Austin has only played a handful of games, I think, in the MLS and a handful of games out in a lower division in Sweden, and then that one Premier League game. Whereas Kinski, even though he's only 21, he's played numerous times this season alone in both Champions League qualifiers and the Europa League, and of course the Czech First Division, where he was top of the league, and I think he kept something like 14 clean sheets in 29 games. So Kinski comes straight in. Along with him in the team are Porro, Spence, Dragusin, and Gray in the back four. And then that midfield I talked about with a little bit more steel, a double pivot of Bissouma and Bentincur with Bergvall just in front. And maybe actually Bergvall will use his legs and his energy to get around the pitch a bit more. That should give us a little bit more in terms of up and down the pitch, I think, than we have with, say, Maddison or Kulusevski playing in that 10 role. Kulusevski does start, though. Of course, he'll play on the right-hand side. He's in for Johnson. Sonny on the left starts, and then Dominic Solanke up in the 9, of course. The bench is Brandon Austin ahead of Fraser Forster. I think Fraser Forster is fit again after his illness, so Austin looks like he may have superseded Forster as the number 2 at the moment, or the number 2 while Vicario is injured anyway. Then Dorrington, Reguilon, Olusesi, Mikey Moore, Yang Min-hyuk, with his first appearance on the bench for Tottenham Hotspur since his signing from the South Korean A-League. Then Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, and Will Lancashire. Let me know in the comments what you think of that team. Is it the right team that Big Ange Postecoglou has selected? Let me know. I'll go over to that Liverpool side now, and I have to say, I'll talk about this a bit more before kickoff, but they have gone stronger than I expected them to. And I think the reason for that is they have Accrington Stanley at the weekend in the FA Cup, so they know they can really rotate their players in that game, and that's why they've gone stronger here. So the Liverpool team is Alisson in goal, Tsimikas, Bradley, Quansah and Van Dijk start in the back four. Then Jones, McAllister and Gravenberch in midfield. Jota, Gakpo and Mo Salah, the scourge of Tottenham Hotspur and pretty much everyone else in the forward line. On the bench for Liverpool, Kelleher, Endo, Konate, Diaz, Nunez, Chiesa, Elliott, Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So to say that Liverpool have a stronger squad at the moment and bench would be an understatement, an absolute understatement. But we have the home crowd, and the key is we have to stay in this game. It's a two-legged semi-final. Let me know in the comments if this is right, but my belief is that they scrapped away goals in the semi-finals of the League Cup a few years ago. So away goals don't count, so that might help us. But it's two-legged. The second leg is in a month's time, and Tottenham are down to have about 6 or maybe 7 of their first team players back fit and obviously free from suspension for that second leg. So Tottenham have to stay in this game. How do you feel about Kinski starting ahead of Austin? Do you think it's unfair on Austin? For me, the only negative, because I like the way it looks like he plays football with the ball at his feet, that will suit Ange Ball. A lot of pressure on him. He's only just come to the country and he's only had a training session or two. I do have a little fear. I don't want to be negative, but for those of you who are a bit older, do you remember when Eric the Viking Torsvet joined Spurs in the late 80s? And he made his debut live on TV not long after he joined against Nottingham Forest. And a long shot, I believe, from Nigel Clough went straight through Eric Torsvet's hands. To be honest, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I hope by saying it, it means it won't happen rather than it will. Because I like to think I know a lot about football, but I get proven wrong very regularly. So I'm hoping it won't happen. But, you know, a lot of pressure on Kinski tonight. Definitely a big game for him, huge. And I just hope he does everything pretty simple. And he's clearly very naturally talented with the ball at his feet. I really want him to be a great goalkeeper for Spurs in the long term, but I want him to have a big start tonight. That Bissouma and Bentincur double pivot is worth talking about. Like I said, a bit more steel in it with Bergvall. Bergvall needs to be disciplined. He loves flying into a challenge. The players, by the way, are out on the pitch now. They're just doing the handshakes. Bergvall loves flying into a challenge. He's picked up a lot of bookings this season. He needs to be disciplined. What we do not need in this game is going down to 10 men. As I mentioned, Yang Min-hyuk on the bench. And that doesn't surprise me because Spurs released a social media clip this week of Yang Min-hyuk getting in at the back post for a training drill, put the ball away really well. And obviously with Ange's attacking, a lot of what the wide players need to do is get in, make that late run at the far post. And he did it really well. And his acceleration was absolutely rapid, and that's something we do not have options with in our squad at the moment. So I'm not surprised. I did do a video this morning where I wondered whether he might even start. He hasn't started, but he is on the bench. Be interesting to see whether him, Mikey Moore or Brennan Johnson come on at some point in this game. As I said, Mikey Moore is one of those players on the bench back from his illness that has kept him out for about 2 months or so. In my opinion, I thought it was probably glandular fever. That's what I would go for. A young teenager, they get glandular fever quite regularly. Big night, I think, for Jed Spence and Pedro Porro. Jed Spence has impressed me, but obviously he did make that mistake to press Trent Alexander-Arnold in the game, the league game against Liverpool just before half-time, which got them a 3-1 lead going into half-time. He needs to be a little bit more disciplined as well. But as I said, strong Liverpool side, Alisson, Van Dijk, Gakpo, Salah, McAllister, Gravenberch and Jota, all very strong players right down the spine, and they have goal threat coming from everywhere. And it's worth talking about, isn't it? How big? Let me know in the comments what you think. How big a game is this for Ange Postecoglou? I said in my video this morning, and it caused a bit of hassle. I got a bit of hassle from a lot of Australian fans saying that I think if Tottenham are miles out of this game before the second leg, I think that puts a lot of pressure on Ange Postecoglou, and maybe that would tempt Daniel Levy to pull the trigger. I hope that's not the case. I hope we're in the game. But I think this is huge for Ange Postecoglou, and I hope that by playing that more kind of powerful midfield with more legs in it, that maybe we'll be able to not concede 6 goals and we'll be able to make some better decisions. Finally, before this game kicks off, Spurs are in the huddle. Before this game kicks off, those Kolo Muani rumours coming to Spurs from PSG are ramping up tonight. I don't know enough about the player. He looks very exciting. I don't know enough about the player to say for sure whether he'd be a great signing. But if Ange likes him and if Johan Langer likes him, then I like him. So let's get him in the door. I really hope that works. As always, guys, thank you so much for your comments. Ben Benson says 2-1 to Spurs, Son to score a late goal. It's going to be on a little bit of a delay for me, so I won't be in the comments that much during the first half, but I will be obviously at halftime. So get your questions in, and I think the game has actually started, so I'm on a bit of a delay, so I'm going to come out the comments now and level this up with the automatic clock so that it's on the right time for me. Come on, you Spurs, is all I can say at this point. Well, we've got Alan Smith on Sky as the co-commentator. So frustrating, but we've just kicked off. And apologies for those of you watching, but maybe you can level up your time with some by pressing pause and go on delay with me. Dragishin with the ball. He's playing on the right-hand side with Archie Gray on the left-hand side of the two centre-backs. Gives it into Bergvall, who wins a throw-in. Yeah, I said Alan Smith on co-commentary on Sky. I hate that. I don't know why he's always there. Ex-Arsenal guy, hates Spurs. Jed Spence gets the ball on the left-hand side. Oh, good stuff from Gray, finding Jed Spence again, who tries an outside of the boot ball. Brilliant, through to Sonny. But Kwanzaa turns on the afterburners and gets there ahead of Son. And Allison just chips it out to Bradley, who's pressed. One minute gone, relatively slow start. But Spurs on the ball a lot. And Jed Spence being fouled by Diogo Jota, but not given by the referee. And that's put Tottenham under pressure. And finally, the ref sees no advantage played and does give Spurs a free kick just inside Liverpool half. Jed Spence, it's on the left-hand side. Jed Spence is going to take it. And he goes to chip it over the top towards Solanke. He does well. Finds Bergvall, who looked like he was kicked a little there, but didn't go down. Bentincur obviously returns from his suspension today. Oh, good stuff from Curtis Jones in the middle. And that's too easy for Liverpool to get it through to Salah and chip it over the top. And Liverpool are in down the left now with Gakpo. Gakpo takes a beautiful touch. And they're coming in towards the Spurs box now. Gakpo cutting in. Porro nearly challenged, but good pressure from Spurs players there. Forces Liverpool back. And then they play a big chip over the top to Bradley. And it goes out for a goal kick. That was good defending from Spurs there when it got towards the box. However, it was too easy in midfield, as it tends to be. Kinski giving it quickly to Dragishin and then gets it back and goes to Archie Gray, who goes long down the line up to Solanke, who's beaten in the air easily by Van Dijk. Not a surprise there. Kwanzaa chips it down the line. Archie Gray to Bentincur to Jed Spence. Bergvall helping him out. Come on, be strong in those 50-50s. Well done, Bergvall. It's very tight in here with Bentincur to Jed Spence, who again tries the chip over the top towards Solanke's run down the line. Looked like he was offside anyway, but it goes off for a Liverpool throw-in. Bergvall putting the press on McAllister. He goes to Van Dijk. Goes across to Tsimikas. They've got good options. Oh, Tsimikas passes it straight to Solanke, who lays it into Kulusevski. And in the end, Kwanzaa has to clear. Nearly a big chance there. Spurs' press causing a bit of hassle at the back for Liverpool in these early stages. Tsimikas with the throw down the line. That's too easily won down the line ahead of Pedro Porro there. But he's helped out by Dragishin, and that's another throw to Liverpool. Van Dijk hasn't played in a League Cup tie this season. Well played, Bissouma in midfield. Gets it into Solanke, and he lays it to Bergvall, who's driving at Liverpool. Oh, and he tries the ball outright to Kulusevski. It would have been a good ball, but unfortunately it just clipped Dominic Solanke's heel. But that was good stuff from Bissouma. And Tsimikas again played another dangerous ball there, but Liverpool deal with it this time. Bentincur fouls Bradley on the right. Well, Spurs won it high again with Kulusevski. He lays in Bergvall, who was nearly fouled there, but he should have maybe gone down just outside the box, but he didn't, but recycles to Bissouma. And he lays it out to Porro. Tries an early cross, and Van Dijk clears it for a corner. Good stuff from Spurs. So it's Pedro Porro who's going to get an outswing corner. We've looked more dangerous from corners with Bentincur and Dragishin in the team. So let's see if we can do anything here. Here it comes. Oh, I'll tell you what, Bentincur gets near post. It comes to Son outside the box. He tries to shot. Oh, what an effort. I'll tell you what, Spurs nearly scored then. Corner leads to Sonny at the back post. And his shot. Oh, someone's injured at the front post for Spurs. And Spurs have a player down injured here in the 6th minute. And once again, how many times this season have I had to say it doesn't rain, it pours? And it looks like it might be a bad one because the cameras have cut off the pitch. Spurs players look really worried. Is it Bentincur at the front post? He was the one going for the header. Tottenham have had a bright start, and this would really be a total momentum killer if one of our players has to go off, just like they do in every single game. Ange looks worried, to say the least. I'll get in the comments now, seeing as there's a break in play. Bentincur. G Moore says this looks bad. Tim Whitten says, Happy New Year, Barnaby. Great to hear you again. Thanks, mate. Maestro saying his prediction is 3-0 Liverpool. Ben Benson, though, says 2-1 Spurs. Son score a late goal. Cokecan says, Evening, Barnaby. Happy New Year. Do get in the comments, guys. While this is happening, Bentincur is still down. And I'll tell you what, I've talked already today in this video, this watch-along, about how important it is that we've got this strength in the midfield with Bentincur and Bissouma and Bergvall. And for us to get an injury in the 5th minute, this is completely ridiculous. Honestly, that midfield is going to... So it looks like Johnson is going to come on and Kulusevski is going to go into central midfield. They're not showing what happened there, which usually says that it's a bad one. I thought we were going to look really solid with Bissouma, Bentincur, and Bergvall in midfield. Bergvall was already breaking forward really nicely. And as a result, now Bergvall's going to have to go deeper. Bentincur come in the middle and Johnson out wide right. And I like Brennan Johnson as a player in terms of him as a finisher and a crosser and getting in at the back post. But what I don't love about him is that he doesn't work hard enough backwards to help his fullback. And if this is indeed a sub that has to be made as early as the 8th minute, very, very frustrating. Will make a big difference to this game. Hopefully positively somehow, but I fear for it, I have to say. Arnie Slot has given Virgil van Dijk some information. He's giving it to Bradley and Gakpo. There's going to be a lot of added time due to this injury. And they're clearly taking Bentincur off here. How awful. Fucking hell, Spurs, honestly. It's like, just don't know what you can say about that. Like, just an innocuous, looks like he was just trying to flick it on at the near post. And Spurs, like, down to their, like, how many injuries is it? It's like the fucking 15th or 20th injury of the season. It's an absolute joke. I'm just going to say it now. Brennan Johnson needs to be working his fucking nuts off today. He does. Because so many times in that Liverpool game and in all of these games, he doesn't chase back enough, hard enough when the transition happens and when the opposition are getting down the left-hand side. And we concede so many chances down the left-hand side. It frustrates me so much. And I really liked, I like Johnson a lot, but I really liked that we weren't starting him today and that Kulusevski's on the right and that he loves, like he's got 8 lungs and he was going to work back and forward and we had stability in that central midfield. And the first thing that happens in the game where Spurs have made a good start is that Bentincur, the player who's back, who's going to give us that stability alongside Bissouma and Bergwall in central midfield, gets what looks like a really bad injury. They're still seeing to him. It's the 11th minute now and it happened in the 5th minute. So this has been 6 minutes that he's been down on the floor. Terrible. I hope he's okay. I feel for Ange Postecoglou because, this isn't his fault, but I've said it a few times. You've got to get your first team players on the pitch regularly, otherwise you don't have a chance in the elite level. And he can't get any of his players fit. And he's at the moment, I have to say, he's the most unlucky manager I've ever seen at Tottenham. Let me know what you think. SS in the comments says Bentincur has been so unlucky. Sean says another injury that is Ange's fault. I don't know. John Doe, the season is toast. Bentincur out for another month at least. For me, I don't know. I think it's his right arm that twisted terribly. Okay, so it could be an arm injury. Someone's saying that in the comments. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. They're not saying anything on the commentary, so I really can't speculate. Okay, so it's a normal substitution, so it's not a head injury. It's been 7 minutes off the pitch now. Not off the pitch, but with the game within that game not going on. Guys, 1,640 of you watching at the moment. Thank you so much for your support. If you haven't already, wherever you're watching, please do give this video a like. Please do subscribe to Chris Cowlin's YouTube channel at Chris Cowlin. And also, I'm getting closer to 15,000 subscribers on my channel, where during January, I'm giving you daily transfer news from across the Premier League, starting always, of course, with my beloved Tottenham Hotspur. So as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, my channel is at Barnaby Slater _, at Barnaby Slater _. That underscore is very important. Come over and give me a subscribe and come and watch my videos. And then once again, guys, the itinerary for what will be an endless night of content tonight, but also because it's going to be an endless night with all these injuries. I will be doing the watch along then. I will do a post-match reaction show. Then I'll be talking to Spurs fans from around the world after that. And then Chris Cowlin will be back at about 11 o'clock or just after with the Spurs Chat podcast. And today on the Spurs Chat podcast with him, he has Craig Dearman, Simon Foxall and Leo the Lion. But this injury happened in the 5th minute by my reckoning, and it's now the 14th minute. And the Liverpool fans and the Spurs fans are applauding. They're putting a blanket over Bentincur. Looks like he's been given oxygen on the stretcher as Bentincur's being taken off now. But it just doesn't rain. It pours for Spurs. Like, one game without an injury? No, can't have it. So innocuous as well. They're just leading him off the pitch now. Someone in the comments said a nasty arm injury, so that's what I'm going with at the moment until I hear anything else. They're putting him on the stretcher. I really hope he's okay. Such an important player for us, but never gets on the pitch nearly enough. Anyway, it's a Tottenham corner. It's an in-swinger from Sonny. Come on, Spurs. Let's make something happen. We deserve some luck here. It's a deep one. Straight onto Alisson from Son. And Spurs had started well, but now Liverpool straight away easily get through Tottenham's midfield. And here, good example here. Brennan Johnson, they're on the left, and Brennan Johnson, he is getting back in position. Good. That's a good start from Johnson. Good to see. But anyway, Van Dijk plays a big cross-field ball looking for Salah, but he gets too much on it, and it's a Spurs goal kick. So we're in the 15th minute with me watching, and the 5th minute to the 14th minute as Kinski plays a good ball into Kulusevski in midfield, but Kulusevski puts Dragusin in trouble and he has to go high down the line, kicks it straight out. Poor ball from Kulusevski, but that showed Kinski for the first time showing his bravery on the ball, playing a ball in between the lines into Kulusevski's feet. Oh, and tell you what, that's too easy from Liverpool. They've taken a throw. Oh, and Jed Spence, it's come to the right. Jed Spence got an important knock on it, but it comes to Salah now on the right-hand side. He goes for the cross and it's blocked by Spence. Tell you what, it was it against Liverpool for one of their goals where, I can't remember which game it was, but we just, Solanke lost the throw on the right-hand side. And this time, we let Liverpool just throw the ball straight into our midfield. And like there was nobody there. We're going to have to get used to Bentincur not being on this pitch. Liverpool knocking about it well here. But Bissouma intercepts and gives a ball down the line. But unfortunately, Kwanzaa gets it back to Alisson. I think Liverpool will be so delighted that, you know, not in a mean way, but that Bentincur has gone off, because that did look like a new midfield for Spurs. As Son battles with Bradley on the right and it goes out for a Liverpool throw-in. Kulusevski more than ever needs to work, not just as a 10 today, as Liverpool once again go for the big long ball over the top, and it comes through to Kinski, who takes a risk, Kinski, on the edge of his box, but flicks it up into the air, and he dealt with the seconds pretty well. Oh, dear. And for the first time, Kinski goes long with a big flat one. Oh, I'll tell you what, and that nearly found Son, and that is something Kinski has in his locker. The long flat ball over the top. We've seen that on his YouTube clips. Kinski is very brave with the ball at his feet. Good football from Spurs. Broken the press a little bit here with Bissouma, who's fouled in midfield, but he shakes it off and gives it to Jed Spence on the left. This is good from Spurs. They've got a lot of players forward, as ever. They need to be a bit careful about the transition. Sonny on the left now. Bradley holding him up. And Sonny has to go back to Jed Spence, who looks to try and go down the line. Does well there, but cuts back. Goes back to Sonny. Spurs now forced all the way back to Kinski, who basically is playing as a defensive midfielder. And I love that for him. And he plays a lovely ball out to Son. That is something new that we haven't had. Oh, and Son then just plays a really bad ball, trying to get it over the top of Bradley into Solanke. Liverpool deal with it well. But Kinski's starting position. That is the modern goalkeeping that Tottenham have never, ever had. And that is exciting to see. Anyway, Liverpool get it out to Tsimikas. Kinski just dinks one over the top of Salah into Jed Spence. And the fans are loving this kid already. Yeah. Alan Smith's mentioned it on Code Comms. The fans appreciating Kinski's ability with the ball at his feet. The Spurs now get it down the right to Johnson, and he puts it down the line to Porro. There's a chance to get a cross in here for Pedro. Oh, and it's blocked well. Oh, really good defending from Liverpool. They get it out for a throw-in. It just shows, doesn't it? Sometimes it's the things you don't see. Like, Kinski is literally, his starting position is 3/4 of the way up in his own half. Oh, and Spurs have just thrown it straight to Liverpool again. But we won it back. Kulusevski outside the box. Plays it in towards Solanke, but goes straight through to Alisson. Yeah, just like I was saying, as Liverpool try another long ball over the top, Dragusin is there being pressed. And he finds Kinski. He's under pressure here, Kinski. Oh my God, and he plays it straight into Archie Gray. Nearly could have bounced off him and gone in, but it didn't. Spurs get a bit lucky there, and Gray goes long. But goes straight into midfield. And Kulusevski needed to be stronger there in the 50-50. Turned his back a bit. And Bergvall was better. And now Spurs are on the break. And Kulusevski and Bergvall both breaking. Get away from him, Bergvall. Kulusevski's down the right. Sonny is at the back stick. Can Kulusevski? He tries outside the boot to find him. So frustrating, but Bissouma does well to win the second ball in midfield and plays a good ball out to Son. Now Son, one-on-one, do the step over. He does. On his left foot. Goes across. It should be a goal. It should be a penalty. Brilliant chance for Spurs. I think Solanke might have been offside. The crowd getting behind Spurs a bit now. I think Solanke would have been offside. Basically, what happened was Spurs, with Bissouma, won it well in midfield, got it out to Sonny, does the little step over, takes it down the left-hand side, and across comes shot. Solanke's in at the near post. He tries to touch it home. I think he would have been offside anyway, but Alisson dives at his feet, and it goes wide. Anyway, Liverpool now trying to break the press down the line, but they kick it straight off. Good press from Spurs. 22 minutes gone, but there've been about 7 or 8 minutes of the injury to Bentincur, so it's still early days, but Tottenham have started this game well. Spence throws it into Solanke, holds it well, goes back to Spence, tries to find Solanke, but it's blocked, but Spence has it again now. Oh, and then he tries to clip it into Solanke and can't. And then Spence tries to win it back, and he does well and runs it all the way across to his kind of favoured right-back position. He knows he's out of position, so he goes backwards to Dragusin. He's going to have to go back to Kinski, I think. Archie Gray makes him an option. But Kinski goes straight down the middle to Bissouma so easily. And that is exact. Oh, and Spurs have lost it into midfield, but Ange will love this keeper for his braveness on the ball. I'm going to say it now. Even if a mistake comes from it and we concede a goal from it, I love it already. I'm all for it. Liverpool try the long ball. Archie Gray heads it, but unfortunately, it comes straight back to Salah. Spence, you've got to help him out here. They're in down the left here. Big trouble for Spurs. They've got numbers down the left. Comes to Salah. And it goes wide. Spurs have lost the ball already, but Solanke's strong in the 50-50. And now Sonny's in on the left and he's got Kulusevski out wide. Can he get this across the box, Kulusevski? He tries to, but Alisson does really well and Johnson would have been in. That's great goalkeeping from Alisson. How long can Tottenham keep up their levels without getting too fatigued? Liverpool will know that. Quansah now on the ball. And again, just the straight one over the top, but nobody there. And it comes through to Kinski. I don't want to bang on about it, but I'm loving Kinski so far. He's just, it's child's play for him. The little balls through the lines. Like I was going to say, I don't care if a goal comes from it. It will be so good for Spurs in the long term. Kinski just lays it to Archie Gray this time. Great. Tries a ball down the line, but it's too easy. And Kulusevski, so many Spurs players out of the game now. Comes to Salah. He tries the right-footed dink, and that's cleared by Porro. But they had 3 men at the back there. Tottenham losing the ball a bit easily between defence and midfield. And that, I think, is not helped because Bentincur is on the pitch giving options. And that time, it was too much of a paradise ball, and Kulusevski lost it, and he was well out of the game. Again, on the transition, just Liverpool looking dangerous without having got in yet. But Spurs just need to enjoy the possession of the ball a bit more. Anyway, Solanke, as ever, putting the pressure on. And this time, Bergvall goes to press Alisson as well, who lays it out wide to Quansah, who goes down the line. And Bissouma is a bit late on the press on Bradley there. But that ball from Bradley doesn't work. And Spence does well and gives a ball in. Spurs with Bissouma to Bergvall. And Bergvall does well there. Oh, and he could have given a ball into Porro inside, but he chose not to and goes to Dragusin instead, who goes to Archie Gray and gives him a bit of a bobbly ball, and it bobbles up for him, and Spence is under pressure here. Yeah, and loses it as a result. And the ref has given a free kick on Spence there, which didn't look like much to me, but I'm pleased he did because Liverpool had won it. And in the end, it took Spence to kind of fall on the ground for the ref to even call for it. The stats, two shots to Spurs, 1 to Liverpool, 1 on target Spurs, 54% possession Spurs. Kinski on the ball, lays it out to Dragusin, whose first touch is ugly, so he goes back to Kinski. Jota keeps pressing Kinski, brings it onto his left side and finds Archie Gray comfortably. Gray tries another dink over the top towards Solanke, and Liverpool forced to clear it. 26 minutes gone, but like I said, probably 7 or 8 minutes of that were an injury, so we're looking at being in the kind of 18th or 19th minute at the moment. Spence throws it into Solanke. He's pushed in the back, but does well to hold it up. And Spence tries to turn down the line, but McAllister stops him, and that's a throw to Spurs. Spence goes for a long throw towards Solanke, and that's easily shepherded out by Quansah. There's a little bit of a lack of... You just know when Spurs have their full squad out, there's far more quality on the ball. And that's why, actually, I have to say I'm a big supporter of Ange Postecoglou, because it's the injuries that are absolutely killing us in terms of the quality on the ball. And now Liverpool have a player down injured, so I'll get into the comments. Tom Bowler says, looking forward to seeing this goalie play with Romero. Agree. Phil de Room says, good morning, Barnaby from Angie's Stomping Ground, Melbourne. Hi, mate. John Lancaster says, we are playing much better due to the keeper. Great move to get him in. Brian Hyde, good morning, Barnaby from Melbourne, Australia. Go, come on, you Spurs. Harrison George, love listening to you commentate, Barnaby. I can't listen to the game in Australia, so this is perfect. Good, glad I can help. Ryan LT Law says, I'm surprised we're not starting Reguilon at left back and keeping Jed on the bench as... Okay, interesting. Yeah, Aussie 1976 says, have we even had a game in the past couple of months where a player hasn't had to go off with an injury? I can't think of one, to be honest. Maybe we have, but... I don't know. G Moore saying the keeper is looking as cool as a cucumber. Guys, let me know in the comments, okay? With keepers like this, just like Alisson, just like Edison, so comfortable with the ball at their feet that it adds, I'd say, like almost as much as 25% to your passing game. But mistakes will happen sometimes. Are you guys, let me know in the comments, are you able to deal with the fact that there will be mistakes either from the keeper or as a result of the keeper's passing that will be made? Are you happy to deal with that based on what you've seen so far and how different it is and how much it will help with Ange Ball? I am. I'm excited by this keeper. I know it's only been 20 minutes or so, but you can see, I used to be a goalkeeper myself, and you can see that this kid is the first modern day keeper that we've had, by which I mean proper modern day. When Hugo Lloris came to Spurs, he was one of the first breeds of sweeper keepers, but as he got older and his legs went, he kind of stopped that high line. He wasn't as good off the line. This is a proper modern day young keeper, and I'll tell you this, you know, in terms of his ball playing, he is way better than Vicario. Vicario is an elite shot stopper, though, so it'll be interesting. They'll have a good battle, and I hope that this kid can teach Vicario a little bit about, you know, being comfortable with the ball at his feet. But just to say once again, when the mistakes come and goals get conceded because of this type of football that he plays, I'm not going to criticize him because it's going to add so much to Tottenham Hotspur. And that's why Anne just put him straight in, because he has shown me already so much that Brandon Austin can't do. John Doe says, you're a full minute behind the USA game. I apologize for that. Brian Hyde, a proactive keeper is better than a reactive keeper. All right, guys. So Liverpool have just had to have Quansah go off. 29th minute. Endo on. And looks like Endo going into centre-back. So if I were Dominic Solanke, I'd be thinking of trying to pull onto Endo as much as possible, because he's not a centre-back by trade, is he? He's more of a defensive midfielder. So at least Liverpool have had an injury to have to deal with as well. Interesting they haven't gone to put Konate straight on. He's had an injury and has come back. Anyway, Kinski with the ball now. Lays it out to Dragusin, who's got an option with Porro, and he goes there. Gives it a bit behind him. Porro goes to Bissouma. Johnson helps him out, and now Spurs are in down the right. That's good football from Spurs. And Bissouma gives it into Bergvall, who unfortunately steps over the ball a little bit, but then wins a foul. Well done, Lucas Bergvall. I love that. Don't be injured. And Spurs, of course, go to play it along the ground. It was a free kick opportunity to get the ball in the box. It was in Liverpool's half, but maybe a bit too far out to put a ball in. Archie Gray finds Jed Spence, who goes back to Archie Gray, who will go across to Radu Dragusin. And this is who Liverpool are looking to press. And they go over the top. Alisson has to clear a long ball over the top with his head. I don't mind that, though. Spurs mixing it up every so often. And as I've said earlier, it's good already to see that one long flat ball that Kinski tried to play Solanke in, and he nearly did. Anyway, Spurs into Bergvall. Does well, but actually then ends up kicking it off for a Liverpool throw under pressure. Tsimikas. 31 minutes gone now, but there will be 7 or 8 minutes added. Tsimikas goes backwards down the line. And he's going to have to go to Alisson. And Alisson, with the outside of his boot, clears it into central midfield. Bissouma with a back header. Oh, and then Dragusin beaten in the air. That shouldn't really happen, but it's a big clearance. And then Van Dijk wins the second one. That's too easy in midfield for Liverpool. And they're in down the left now. Bissouma, take your foul here, Bissouma. And he hasn't. And he does. And he does eventually. And that's a yellow card. But I think he should. I think it was the right thing to do. Now, he's on a bit of a tight rope, but that, for me, is a problem caused by the fact that Bentincur has gone off injured, because Bentincur would have been level with Bissouma or behind him and would have given us more defensive options. I think those three midfielders need to just be a little bit more, I know this is not something Andrew would like to hear, but a little bit more conservative in midfield and be careful of those Liverpool breaks. Basically, all of the goals that we conceded against Liverpool in that game a few weeks ago were from breaks. Anyway, now Liverpool with Tsimikas are going to put a ball into the box. This is our first opportunity to see Tsimikas play differently. And he's calling at Porro, saying he only wanted 2 in the wall. Okay, here it comes. Tsimikas with the left foot. He's going towards the far post. Oh, it's a free header. Poor defending from Spurs. Free header for McAllister, but goes straight down the keeper's throat. Kinski with the ball at his feet. Just dinks one over Salah to Spence. Spence is under pressure. Bissouma under pressure. Good ball into Son. Good football from Spurs, but it's behind Kulusevski. And now we've lost the ball in midfield again. No huge chances, but that, I'd say actually that header for Liverpool was a great... Oh, tell you what, Spurs are in down the middle here. Oh, but Endo just gets in ahead of Kulusevski. That header for McAllister from that free kick was a really good chance. And Kulusevski there put a lot of pressure on Alisson. Liverpool do well to go down the line, and then the fullback throws himself to the ground under pressure from Brennan Johnson to win a free kick when Liverpool are under pressure. That's good professionalism, you'd have to say. I bet there's hardly anything in this. Tsimikas was under pressure. Oh, and he doesn't even really touch him. Just a joke. Yeah, Tottenham Again, it's another thing we're going to miss with Bentincur off the pitch, his ability to attack and defend set pieces. And it was a free header for McAllister. He should have done better with it, really. Anyway, I'm pleased he didn't. Still 0-0, 35 minutes gone. But really, we're at the 28th minute as Liverpool just go long. This is something we saw against Liverpool. Oh dear, Pedro Porro's just run under that. Gakpo looks to have kept it on, but Porro nicks it off him. No, it went off for throwing. Liverpool, yeah, in that first game, really saw they weren't afraid to go long. They certainly weren't afraid to do big switches of play across the pitch, which is something that Tottenham really struggled to defend under Ange Postecoglou. And we see it already here with Van Dijk and Liverpool going long. And of course, that's the third goal just before half-time that Liverpool scored in the last game. Came from a big long ball from Trent, didn't it? Anyway, the throw down the line, flipped on. Tsimikas wins the next one. Bergvall out-muscled from McAllister. And Endo now brings the ball forward and has an option out wide right with Conor Bradley, who plays a lovely ball. Good football from Liverpool. Archie Gray just trying to see that off with Mo Salah, but that was pressure from Salah, and Jed Spence now under pressure in his own corner, and Archie Gray has to go long, and Spurs win. The throw-in. We're in Tottenham's left-back position at the moment. They do love getting themselves into tight spaces in their own corner in the left-back. It happens pretty much every game, doesn't it, Spurs? And Liverpool just loving putting the press on, and Spurs trying to get out of that press. Jed Spence with the throw-in. Goes into Kulusevski, and it bounces off him, but then he fights back, and now he's in that position. Spence helps him out and flicks it to Kulusevski. It has to be strong in the 50-50, but it breaks to Liverpool in midfield with McAllister, and they're not afraid to just put their foot on it and roll it back to Van Dijk, who plays a lovely ball between the lines. Oh, Liverpool in a great position now. Basuma's got to be careful because he's already been booked. I'll tell you what, Basuma slid in there, and he was lucky he didn't connect. And now it comes through to Solanke, and Johnson could be in here. Oh, I'll tell you what, Solanke, weirdly, should have tried to dink it over the top to Johnson, who was in down the right, but he didn't. He went along the floor, and as a result, Tsimikas got his foot on the ball. And Liverpool do well to break the press in down the right with Bradley now. And Sonny working backwards, but Bradley turns on the afterburners. And now Jed Spence is helping him out. And Jed Spence does well, and it's a throw-in to Liverpool. Looks like a good player, Bradley. Liverpool take the throw-in. Shame there. Dominic Solanke had a good chance on the transition. He should have just tried to dink it long over the top to Brennan Johnson, who had the pace on his fullback, Tsimikas. But he went down the line, and Tsimikas was able to cut it out. Slightly frustrating, but anyway. Alisson now into McAllister. He plays it back to Van Dijk. Back to McAllister, round the corner, and Liverpool now in down the left again. Bergvall working on Tsimikas, but neither Bergvall or Johnson are following Tsimikas. And look, they're in down the left now with Tsimikas. It's a bit too much of a heavy ball. I hope that goes off the pitch, and it does. But that is really frustrating. I hate to be negative here, guys, because I think Tottenham are doing all right. But you can't just let Tsimikas go from fullback and not have either Kulusevski or Johnson chasing him. And Kinski now plays his first long ball up towards Johnson, and Tsimikas wins up for a throw-in. Let me know what you think about that in the comments, guys. Let me know how much of a big problem it's going to be that Bentincur has had to be taken off in this game, how much it's going to affect our chances. Like I said at the start, we've got to stay in this game. That's the key. And that's what we're doing at the moment. We've got to try and stay in it so we can be in it for the second leg when we have our players back. Porro did well there under pressure. Liverpool's press is just kind of endless. Dragoshin gives a bit of a dodgy ball to Archie Gray there. He's got Jed Spence with him, but under pressure as ever, Jed Spence. And he hasn't got an obvious option. Goes to Bissouma, who goes to Son, who's pressed by Endo. But Jed Spence wins it up the pitch and then accidentally fouls the Liverpool player. Oh, I'll tell you what, that was a bit of a 50-50 that Jed Spence went in quite hard there, but Bradley didn't complain, and that's good to see. Two young players going in hard and not rolling around on the floor. Spence with the throw-in on the left-hand side. Just Liverpool's press, suffocating Spurs a lot of the time. Very rarely are we getting out of it. Spence goes towards Solanke. Can he win a foul there, Solanke? No, it's easily one off him. And Liverpool have it with Endo in their back line. Jed Spence had the most touches in this match. Like I said, a lot of it has been coming down that side. Anyway, goes back to Alisson. Solanke presses him. He goes quickly to Endo. Goes inside. Good football from Liverpool. They're playing beautifully. Basuma's wrong side, but he does really well that time. Gets his foot in on Curtis Jones and finds Kulusevski. He's down the left at the moment. Oh, he tries a good ball into Sonny here. Oh, and it just gets past Sonny to Alisson. And Alisson throws it out quickly. Oh, and a good tackle there from Lucas Bergvall. And Johnson tries to help him out and gets a tackle in as well. But Liverpool and Johnson is now working back on Gakpo. Good lad, Brennan Johnson. He gets another good tackle in. And the fans will get behind you for that, Brennan Johnson. It's not just about what you do going forward. It's about what you do going back as well. And that was good. That was good stuff. Liverpool now in their backline. 40 minutes gone, but I'm expecting there to be at least 8 or 9 added minutes at the end of this half. Endo. Solanke trying to press him so he can't go to Van Dijk. And as a result, it goes into midfield with Gravenberch, who goes back to Alisson. And then he gets it back, Gravenberch. And Kulusevski is ahead of the ball. And Bergvall is ahead of the ball. And so is Johnson. It comes to Gakpo out wide left. There's just so much space for Liverpool. But they come backwards, so we're able to get bodies behind the ball. Endo now to Bradley. They build up in a 3, Liverpool, don't they? And Van Dijk finds it back to Alisson. Oof. Plays a bit of a short ball to Van Dijk, but it's easily dealt with. And now Endo plays it out wide to Bradley. Spurs with the high line. They're having to watch Mo Salah as he keeps feinting to make these long runs. I wonder if the starting position of Kinski is stopping Liverpool from trying too many of the chips over the top. They were doing a lot more chips over the top in the first game when Fraser Forster was in goal. And that could be another positive from Kinski's start in this game so far. Van Dijk. They're just popping it about at the moment. Endo. Liverpool have had a bit of sustained pressure last few minutes here now. And there, Jota tried to run over the top. Archie Gray tried to play him offside. Endo now. Endo to Van Dijk. Comes back on his right foot and goes to Endo. Kulusevski tried to cut out a pass to Granberg. And now they're going to go for the big diag. And it goes straight off the pitch. Well played Spurs there. Good positions for the last kind of few minutes. Persuaded Endo to try the big diag and he kicked it straight off the pitch. And Spurs have the ball now, and it goes to Dragishin, but not blessed with options in midfield. So all he's got really is Archie Gray, who has to go back to him. And this is where Liverpool and Jota go, but he's gone big, long over the top. Dragishin, and it goes straight off for a Liverpool goal kick. So that's the problem for Spurs at the moment. Cannot keep control of any pressure, any possession or pressure. And here Liverpool have the ball again. Suffice to say, they're dealing with our press a lot better. Anyway, they tried a long ball then. Dragishin brings it down on his chest and gives it to Spence, who gives it first time to Bissouma. That was better from Dragishin. He finds Son out wide left, and Jed Spence has made a good run for him, but instead he goes to Kulusevski. His first touch is good, and his second touch isn't, and Jota wins it off him, and then Jota beats him. Oh, and then he beats Bissouma with a... And Liverpool are through here with Salah running at the... Bergvall is running through Treacle, and Dragishin comes out, and they've got men on the left. Big problems for Liverpool here. They're in down the left. Bergvall does brilliantly to get back. Great challenge from Bergvall. Liverpool still have the ball with Gakpo, though. That was great from Lucas Bergvall. They're in at the... Oh, and that's a foul. Brennan Johnson fouls. This will be a dangerous free kick. And it'll be Tsimikas again. And don't forget the first free kick that Liverpool had from a similar situation. Spurs didn't manage to mark the man, and Alexis McAllister had a free header. And down the years, we've conceded so many set-piece goals to Liverpool. Anyway, Kinski lining up a three-man wall. Looks like he wants a bit more from Brennan Johnson going to his right, just in case Tsimikas tries to beat him at his near post. I'd say this is about 32, 33 yards out, and it's more likely he will try and dink it into the box where Liverpool have runners. And here it comes, and that is a good clearance. And Bissouma then finally kind of gets his ball away, and Spurs clear it with Brennan Johnson, who kicks it to the halfway line, and Sonny's pressing him. Gravenberch so comfortable on the ball in midfield. He goes back to Endo. We're into the 45th minute, so we'll see how much added time, but I'm expecting kind of 8 or 9 minutes. As Liverpool with Tsimikas, feign to go down the left, but actually come back. When it comes to Alisson. Oof, who tries the ball, gets the ball back to Van Dijk on the left, but Solanke wasn't far from it. Wonder if he can try and telegraph those the rest of the game. Van Dijk with the ball at his feet, kind of trying to bring Spurs out in their press. It's 11 minutes added. Liverpool through on the left again here. Brennan Johnson has to keep working, but it comes in narrow. And Kulusevski is behind the ball. Now it comes out to the left, and Johnson has to go there to Tsimikas. And Tsimikas goes down the line, and it goes off the pitch. That was better. At least Johnson's a body there. I don't mind that. The problem we have, and we're going to see it now, I'm sure, again, is that the press of Liverpool, when Spurs have the ball from our own goal kick, the press of Liverpool doesn't really allow us. It stifles us. It's suffocating us. It's not allowing us to get any possession, like any regular possession. Anyway, as the ball finds Bergvall, but McAllister continues his press, and it comes to Kinski, who tries the big crossfield ball, and it doesn't work out, and Liverpool win it, and Bissouma does well. Oh, and Kulusevski uses his body well there. Oh, and then that's a heavy touch from Decky, and he's fouled. But the ref doesn't give it. Bradley, and Sonny is working hard to get in the position instead. Liverpool keep the ball down the line and go back across in the centre circle to Van Dijk. That was Kinski's first bad kick. He was put under a bit of pressure, but I don't mind that, like I said. Liverpool in down the left now with Gakpo. Coming narrow. They really understand how this works, Liverpool. And they're in down the left here now. Tsimikas has got a free cross here from the byline. Comes to the back, looked like it was coming to the back stick, but Dragishin did really well at the front post, and that's what he's great at, clearing with his head. Good body position as well at the near post. Liverpool doing it early. Tsimikas goes backwards, and it comes back to Van Dijk. Now Endo. So this first half will go till the 56th minute, sorry. Van Dijk to Endo. Solanke working so hard for nothing at the moment. Not getting much chance with the ball. And Van Dijk just runs into central midfield. And that's too easy a ball into central midfield. And it's too easy on the left. And he's one-on-one here now. Too easy for Liverpool. And it's well blocked in the end by Porro. But that's where, for me, Johnson has to be helping his fullback out. Bust a gut. Bust a gut. Liverpool have the ball again, of course. Son tried the press there, but he was blocked off. That was good. Good press there in midfield from Archie Gray. But Kulusevski, who's not been able to keep the ball at the moment at all. Bouncing off him, left, right and centre. He's being pressed very hard. Liverpool have the ball again. And they go for the big long one up and over Pedro Porro. And he's on his own. Of course he is, up against Gakpo. So much trouble being caused from here. And he goes to the byline. Too easy. And it comes across to Salah. He turns and tries to chip it with his right foot, and it goes out. I've talked about it before. Let me know what you think in the comments. But for me, Ange Postecoglou must say to Brennan Johnson, take the risk and don't help your mate. Because otherwise, why wouldn't he? You know, we concede so many chances down there. Spence has to be strong against Salah there, and he wasn't. And Kulusevski is a bit stronger in the 50-50, and Spence helps him out and passed it to Bergvall. That was better. We've got to be strong in 50-50s in this game. Bergvall puts it a bit behind Kulusevski. He turns away and gives a good ball in midfield into Bissouma, who lays it to Sonny, who goes back to Bissouma beautifully and finds Bergvall. Now's the chance to open it out. Good ball from Bergvall into Brennan Johnson. This is his area here, Brennan, but he cuts on his left foot, and I don't know why he did. He should have taken it on his right foot, and the shot is blocked. Spurs win it back high, and Pedro Porro has it now, and he's tripped. He was tripped. He was tripped. And now Liverpool are on the transition. I cannot believe this. And Porro should take a booking there, and he doesn't. Long shot, and Kinski saves it well. Wow. So Gakpo here has a long shot, and it swerves just in front of Kinski, and he saves it well. God, that was a really tough one for him, and it nearly bobbled behind him, but it didn't. Kinski now goes for another long flat one over the top, and Sonny could be in here. His first touch is good. He's got Solanke with him. He lays in Solanke now. Unfortunately, it's just too far ahead of him. He needs to win something here, Dominic Solanke, and he doesn't. The goal kick. But that was good from Kinski. They're just cutting to Vicario and Austin on the bench. Oh, and now Liverpool are in down the left again, and Porro is just so on his own. Not only is he on his own, but Porro does brilliantly, but two Liverpool players, Jones, and I don't know who it was, maybe Gravenberch, were coming up to help Gakpo. And Johnson wasn't even in shot till far too late. I'm sorry to just call out Johnson too much all the time, but it really frustrates me. And Sonny is working much harder on the other side than Brennan Johnson is. And Brennan Johnson, I don't know, just frustrating. Anyway, Kinski goes to Archie Gray, who goes long, out towards Johnson, who can win that in the air, but it doesn't. And he's pushed in the air, but nothing given. And it's a throw into Liverpool. Into the 6th minute of the added time in the first half. I'm sorry to have a go at Johnson. He has worked a bit hard. He was appreciated by the fans back in the 39th minute for working hard backwards, but he's got to do it every time, not just once or twice. This is a cup semi-final, mate. I know you played a lot of minutes this year, but listen, if Spurs do buy in a Muani or someone, then you'll be on the bench more. Too easy in between the lines for Liverpool, and they're in down the left again. Gakpo fronting up Pedro Porro, coming into the box. Tries it down, tries to find the top corner, Gakpo, and it's over the bar. Kinski finds Porro. He goes first time into midfield, and it's easy for Liverpool to pick it up. This is where Spurs and their real mix and match side are just not able to keep any possession because they don't have the talent. They should have the talent to do it, but there's just like a lack of knowledge of where everyone's going to be and a lack of rhythm. And Bentincur going off hasn't helped that. Maddison being suspended, Sarr being suspended. Liverpool go for a big long one. Dragishin wins the first ball, and then Salah tries to play it across to Gakpo, but it goes to Porro, who could go into midfield to Bergvall, but chooses to go backwards. Archie Gray now has the ball, and he finds Son, who tries to touch it to Jed Spence, but it's poor. And Son is trying to work and make up for his mistake there. Spence is out of the game. And Liverpool try the cross, and Dragishin does well, and it comes to Spence from Dragishin, who finds Bergvall to Son. And Spurs could just put their foot on the ball here a little bit. And Bissouma, that's good, finds Spence, who can go across, and does, into Porro, who's in that little inverted place. And he was looking at finding a long ball to Solanke, but he chooses to put the ball. Oh, he tries to find Johnson, who tries to go round the corner. Nearly worked. We had a player running through. Dragishin with a good ball into midfield. Kulusevski, can he find someone? He can. He finds Jed Spence, who's running through midfield now. And Sonny's outside him. Get on the last line, Sonny. The ball to Sonny is too far ahead of him. So Sonny tries the first time cross. It's a good one. Bergvall in the air. Good play from Spurs. But that was better from Spurs. It was just a bit of a poor ball from Spence into Son when Spence had got a bit of space in central midfield. Bit too much on it. Liverpool break that Spurs press as it comes to Tsimikas now. And he goes for the long one into midfield. And Archie Gray does brilliantly there. Gets it to Kulusevski, whose first touch again is poor. Poor from Decky. He's not had a great half, and Liverpool are on the transition now. And both Bissouma and Bergvall working to get back. And that's an easy ball into Salah. And they're going to be in down the left again here. There they are. They're in down the left. Cuts it back. Spence is in a good position, but he clears it straight to a Liverpool player. And Salah is free at the back post if they manage to get a cross in. They're looking for an offside there. Don't get one. Comes to Jones. And back to Jones outside the box. And they're looking to dink it over to Salah, but Jed Spence in a good position. But his header again goes straight to a Liverpool player. Spurs look leggy. 54th minute. They've got to see out another couple of minutes here for half-time. Comes back to Endo, and Spurs have bodies back now. Van Dijk, but again gets out left, and Johnson. You've got to go to Tsimikas here, Johnson, and stop the cross. And he doesn't stop the cross. And Jed Spence clears it. And that frustrates me about Johnson as well. Tottenham not good enough at stopping crosses at source. We're into the last minute of added time here. Liverpool have the ball in the midfield. Endo out wide right now to Bradley. Goes inside. Liverpool popping it about again. The fans trying to get behind Tottenham now. Endo. Goes to Gravenberch. Solanke just working so hard. Endo to Van Dijk. And it's going to come to the left again. And Johnson, you've got to go and help out your man now. Johnson does. He goes to Tsimikas, but it comes inside easily to Gravenberch. Bissouma comes out, and that's intercepted. And then Bissouma is fouled, but the ref doesn't give it. Bissouma has got to be more careful there. And it comes in down the left. Good chance for Jota here. Blocked for Dragoshin. And Porro put under pressure. And that is a goal kick to Spurs. And that is Bissouma all over. Sorry to be negative again, but Bissouma, he's blocked the pass and he's done the hard bit. That is the interception of the pass. Now make the right decision. And he doesn't. And that is half time. 0-0. And I'm pleased about it. And Tottenham have worked hard. They look fatigued. Of course they do. And they're struggling to get out. Of course they are. Liverpool's press is absolutely elite, absolutely top notch. And of course, the fact that Bentincur has been injured and has had to go off, yet another injury for Spurs, and it looks really dodgy. I haven't heard much about it, but positives. Kinski, the keeper, with the ball at his feet, our first ever modern goalkeeper. Very, very exciting about him. I've said it before tonight. I'll say it again. We will concede goals because of his confidence and his bravery on the ball, but he is the first keeper we've ever had at Spurs who is like Alisson, who's like Ederson, a proper modern goalkeeper. And you should see his starting position. If you're watching it, his starting position, when Liverpool have the ball with their back line, they are not trying too many dinks down the middle like they were in that first game against us, because Kinski's starting position is halfway inside his own half. And therefore they're like, well, I can't just dink it over the top of the Spurs high line because the keeper will clear it. Anyway, not many chances for Spurs at all. Liverpool have played really well. They played a really strong team. But like I said all week, and I said before the kickoff today, Spurs have to find a way to stay in this game. And I actually think if Bentincur hadn't gone off injured, I think Spurs would have made more chances. We'd started that first 5 minutes really well. I've made a note in the second minute already, a bit too easy for Liverpool to get through the midfield, but our defending in the box was excellent. So it led to nothing. Tsimikas in the third minute passed it straight to Dominic Solanke, but Spurs couldn't quite make a chance from it. And that's happened quite a few times in that first half where Tottenham have pressed, kind of won the ball in midfield and had just with a bit more quality and an option to get it through to the forward line and maybe get a shot off. But there's just a lack of rhythm, maybe fatigue, but also just a lack of our best players being in the best positions because of our injuries and suspensions. We haven't been able to put anything with too much quality going forward. Fourth minute, good stuff from Bissouma, winning the ball in midfield. Again, nearly led to a chance, but not quite. Fifth minute, Spurs won the ball high again, led to a corner off Van Dijk, which the corner led to, and this is the incident that led to Bentincur getting injured. Bentincur tries to flick it at the near post, and it looks like he's landed awkwardly. Maybe it's an arm injury. I'm not sure yet. Let me know in the comments. But his shot, it came to Sonny at the back post. He had a left foot shot, and Dragoshin had a great chance in the middle of the goal, and he hits it first time, and Alisson does well to get down to his right and save it. Then Bentincur's injury took us from the 5th minute to the 14th minute. That's when he went off on a stretcher, taking oxygen, looking really bad. And Brennan Johnson came on for him. And I said it, as soon as Brennan Johnson came on, the thing that I worry about with Brennan Johnson is that he doesn't work hard enough backwards when we haven't got the ball. He doesn't bust a gut in the same way that Sonny does to really try and put pressure on the Liverpool fullback and the wide player Gakpo when they've got it out wide on the left. And that is something that has proved to be the case in this half. Anyway, The resultant corner from Sonny after that injury went straight down Alisson's throat, unfortunately. Then in the 17th minute, maybe only one or two little slight dodgy moments for Kinski, the keeper. A long ball was played over. Dragoshin let it bounce, and Kinski kind of let the ball come towards him towards the edge of his box. He had to backpedal, and then he just tried to maybe take a little bit too much time, and the Liverpool player got a foot on it, I think, or maybe Kinski got a foot on it and put it up in the air into his own hands. It was fine in the end, but again, I've written there in the 17th minute, Kinski starting position, very exciting. 20th minute, Spurs won the ball high again, but a cross from Decky went straight to Alisson. Actually, Johnson was coming in at the back post there, and it was good goalkeeping from Alisson coming to the edge of his 6-yard box to claim a low flat cross. 21st minute, great chance for Spurs. Bissouma found Son. He goes across the front of the goal. He gets in down the left-hand side towards the byline. Kind of a cross-come shot across the front of the goal. Solanke got something on it, but it went wide. And actually, I think he would have been offside anyway. But Sonny has looked quite dangerous when we got the ball to him on the left. Then, 23rd minute, big chance for Mo Salah out wide. Spurs gave the ball away too easily. Ends up with a shot at the edge of the box on his right foot from Mo Salah. Actually, no, it was on his left foot, sorry, but from the left-hand side. So he's trying to whip it into the top right-hand corner. Bergvall actually had a good body position there, getting himself in front of Salah and blocking the goal, so he had to try a bit much with it. Spurs then straight away from the transition. We're in down the left. The cross from Decky again saved well by Alisson. Johnson would have been in. Actually, that is the chance that I spoke about a second before. 29th minute, maybe a bit of good luck for Spurs. Kwanzaa went off with an injury. Endo came on. He's looked pretty comfortable though. 30th minute, good stuff down the right from Spurs between Porro, Bissouma and Bergvall from a move started by Kinski. Nothing quite came of it, but it was good. 31st minute, Bissouma got booked for stopping a transition. I think it was the right decision. Liverpool were in, and I was screaming at the time, Bissouma, take the booking. He's on a tightrope, of course he is, and he's been wrong side a couple of times since then, and he slid in once, which looked dangerous since then, and we do not need Bissouma to get sent off. He has to be careful, but I do think him getting that booking was right at the time. Then, 32nd minute, from the resulting free kick, poor defending from Spurs led to a free header for McAllister, went straight down Kinski's throat. They're just talking about Bentincur's injury. They're saying it looks like a really bad one. The doctors are still with him in the dressing room. They're talking about it as a horrible injury. They're talking about how it's unsettled Spurs, and that's not surprising as far as I'm concerned. We looked solid. Only 5 minutes, but we looked solid in that midfield with Bentincur there. Anyway, 39th minute, and this is an important note I made in the 39th minute. Brennan Johnson did really work his arse off backwards. The one time I've seen him do it, and he got 2 slide-in tackles in, and the fans really rose to it. But Johnson needs to be doing that the whole time as far as I'm concerned. Then there was 11 minutes of added time, and in that added time, quite a lot happened. Liverpool, time and time again, got in down the left so easily. One effort, Salah hit over the bar. Johnson then had a chance, but on the right-hand side, kind of in his perfect inside right position, running into the box. I thought he would open it up onto his right and hit it in towards the bottom left-hand corner, but I think his touch wasn't quite there, so he brought it onto his left and it was blocked. Then from the transition, a tough shot for Kinski. I think it was from Gakpo, took a long shot, and it really moved right in front of Kinski and bounced just ahead of him. And he got enough of his body behind him. It kind of bounced a bit behind him, but he got enough on it. It was a good save from him. Then a good long flat ball from Kinski to Son, which nearly led to a chance, but didn't quite. I love his distribution, this kid. Really, really love it. It's going to cause a lot of good stuff for Spurs. Then Gakpo got in down the left again, hit it over the bar, trying to find the top left-hand corner. And there I made a note, too easy for the pass into midfield for Liverpool. Salah, not getting much joy wide right at the moment, so coming into that central midfield position to find some of those passes. And then a good play from Spurs down the left. They're just showing this Kinski moment where he got himself in a bit of trouble. And he did, in the end, kick it straight up to himself. Michael Dawson's in co-coms. Just showing Kinski's touches here. And Michael Dawson saying he loves the calmness. Dawson is saying exactly the same about Kinski as I've been saying. Loves how calm he is. Yeah, a little bit fortunate where he played a ball that nearly hit Archie Gray and went in. And then they're just showing Gakpo's shot, which is from about 26 yards. He got a little bit of luck. It bounces inside ahead of him. He got enough body on it. And that's where I mentioned, didn't I, before the game, I fear he'll have an Eric Torsvet moment. That could have been it. But look, they're now showing his long passing. Beautiful flat ball over the top to Sonny. And Dawson saying it's good to see him playing long passes as well as short ones. So that is my breakdown of the first half so far, guys. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going to happen for the rest of the night. I'll do the rest of this watch along. Then I will do a post-match reaction on this channel. After that, I'll be talking to Spurs fans from around the globe about their thoughts on this semi-final first leg. Tottenham doing okay at the moment as far as I'm concerned. After that, though, at about 11 o'clock or just after, because of all the time that has been added onto this game because of Bentincur's injury, Chris Cowlin will be back. And in fact, I'll try and make that at about 11 o'clock as well. I don't want to keep those guys too late. But Chris Cowlin will be back at 11 o'clock with the Spurs Chat podcast. He's got Craig Dearman on amongst other people tonight. And once again, do go into the description box, guys, and give the Spurs Chat podcast a vote in these podcast awards that they've been nominated for. Very exciting. Chris works so hard to bring you daily Tottenham content. So make sure you give that podcast, the Spurs Chat podcast, a vote and make it win. Also, do make sure you're a subscriber to Chris's YouTube channel at Chris Cowlin. Give this video a like if you haven't already. Let's get it seen by as many people as possible. Let's smash those likes on that like button. And also, I'm getting closer to 15,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. You can see it in the bottom left there at Barnaby Slater _. Go over to at Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. Give me a subscribe, and you'll find during this January window daily transfer reports with lots of rumors, really reputable rumors tonight. Certainly before kickoff. I haven't seen anything since, but that Kolo Muani may well be joining Tottenham Hotspur from Paris Saint-Germain. He was a really brilliant player at Eintracht Frankfurt, got his £80 million move to PSG. I'm hoping that we can resurrect his career at Spurs the way that we have done with Deki Kulusevski and the very unlucky Rodrigo Bentincur since they left Juventus. Okay, let's get into the comments. Got loads of comments, guys. Epec20 says, how's Kinski looking, fellas? Well, I'm a big fan of him, I have to say. I've been waxing lyrical about him. I love him with the ball at his feet. Listen, we will concede goals sometimes because he's so confident and he wants, football to happen straight from the back line, straight from the goalkeeper. But we will score many more goals than we concede because of Kinski. Paul Longworth says Bentincur is conscious on the way to hospital, apparently. And that Bentincur is talking. Green Badge says, nice to have a goalkeeper that can play out from the back. Completely agree. Twan Vo says, with Kinski, we've got a number one keeper again. Absolutely agree. I think this will be good news for Vicario as well, who now has pressure on him. Look, let's give Kinski a chance here. And he's going to get chances, let's face it. Let's hope he stays fit. But he'll be playing for Spurs for the next couple of months before Vicario comes back. But let's hope that when Vicario does come back, Vicario can teach Kinski some of his elite shot stopping, and Kinski can teach Vicario some of his elite play with the ball at his feet. Kerr1L says, with Kinski, we're giving Liverpool their own medicine. Cantab says, Potter going to West Ham. Yeah, that was going to happen. He's signing contracts there apparently at the moment. Aslan says he fainted for sure about Bentincur. He had to get oxygen. No, they often give oxygen because players are in so much pain from their injury. Cantab said, another game, another big injury. Yeah, very bad. G. Moore says it looked like Bentincur had a neck problem. I'm going to go into Twitter now and see if I can find out what happened to Rodrigo Bentincur here, because I'm not really sure. Someone's trying to say... Someone's saying that Bentincur collapsed after going for the header. Let's have a look how he lands there. I'm just seeing a piece of video. Yeah, he just doesn't get up after going for the header. His arms are out wide, looking a bit worrying. And he does, I have to say, his face does look a little worrying before he even goes for that header. He looks a little bit uncomfortable. I really hope everything's okay. He does land awkwardly. Maybe he hits his head on the ground after he landed. According to DiMarzio, Bentincur fainted on the pitch. Yeah, people asking, did he hit the ground? Listen, some things are more important than the game. And, I've been complaining all that half about how unlucky Spurs are. Tottenham obviously cannot catch a break, nor can Rodrigo Bentincur. He's been off the pitch so much. Alistair Gold says Rodrigo Bentincur is conscious, talking, will go to hospital for further checks. Some reports that there are a lot of Liverpool fans in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the home end, which is very disappointing, isn't it? But yeah, listen, let's just say, get well soon, Rodrigo Bentincur. I'm hoping that it's more that he's hit his head on the ground rather than saying that he's fainted or that there's anything kind of, dare I say it, related to any of his heart, for instance. That would be appalling. Twanvo says, great commentary, Barnaby. I enjoy your recap too. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. Epic20 says, wish we'd bought Anthony Gordon. Well, he was on our list for a while, wasn't he? And he's he's doing brilliantly at Newcastle, but I'm sure he's on absolutely huge numbers over at Newcastle. Captain Mannering says, subscribe, Barnaby. Love these watch-alongs. Thanks very much. Epic20, hope Bentincur is okay. He's our best player. Guys, let's just talk about how can Tottenham find a way to beat Liverpool's press in the second half. Obviously, Spurs are going to get more and more fatigued. We've not had a lot of possession, and we've really struggled to kind of beat them. They seem to be kind of man-to-man against us on their press. What can we do to find a way to win this game, guys? It's going to be very, very difficult. But there have been some half chances. Okay, they've got an update on Bentincur. He's conscious, talking, on his way to hospital. Neil Wallbank says, subscribed. Thank you, mate. Although if you've subscribed, Neil, to @Barnaby Slater and not @Barnaby Slater _, you'll find not my football account. So, Neil, thank you for your subscription, mate. But go to @Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. Really appreciate that. Krill says, kid is good with his feet, meaning Kinski, but can he save like Venom? Well, that remains to be seen. But look, he's had a good start as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. TSOM says we could bring on Yang and Moore and play counter-attacking football for the last 20 minutes. Well, I'd say we've been playing pretty counter-attacking football, haven't we? We've been trying to obviously build up from the back. Be interesting to see if Ange tries to tweak anything in the second half, because Liverpool have definitely been dominant. They've got the stronger team. They've got the stronger squad. You'd expect that. But is there anything we can do to make some more chances? What we really need to do, I think, is get Sonny into a position where he can try and bend one into the top left-hand corner, get him back into his ace elite finish that we know he's so great at. Anyway, the player's now back on the pitch. Oh, once again, I forgot, sorry guys, to do the clock. Kinski getting a... And Liverpool now coming back out onto the pitch. Again, guys, in case you didn't catch it in the first half, I'm on about a minute or two delay. So, try and pause your screen where you're watching if you want to have my commentary with it. And apologies, wasn't able to do the manual clock at halftime there. Liverpool just doing a little bit of a pre-second half warm-up. Doesn't look like they've made any changes. Jamie Redknapp, of course, saying Liverpool the favourites to win this game. And looking at Gakpo, and Gakpo has just been getting in down the left far too much. The one thing I would say if I was Ange Postecoglou, I'd be telling to Brennan Johnson, this half is more about you defending than it is attacking. But I'm not sure that he either says it or that Johnson listens, frankly. Spurs kicking towards the south stand in this second half. Liverpool are going to kick off any second now. They're going to go straight back to Alisson by the looks of things. And we've kicked off. Big long ball. I'd like to see more from Decky Kulusevski this half. He's obviously had a brilliant season. He's played more minutes than almost anyone else. But we just need the ball to stick to him a bit more. Sonny presses high there. Ball comes into midfield. Bissouma does well to get his foot on it, but goes straight back to Van Dijk. Come on, we need a bit of luck here, Spurs. Something to bounce off a Liverpool player into the net as Alisson put under pressure there. And Bissouma does well to win the first one. He's out. Uses his muscle well there, Bissouma, and unfortunately kicks it off for a throw-in. But that was a good start from Biss. I need him to retain his discipline this half, Bissouma. We need him on the pitch for the entire game. And of course, if he was to get sent off, he'd be suspended for the second leg as well, now that suspensions don't count in the Premier League from this. Oh, I think maybe red cards count in the Premier League, but yellow cards don't. Tsimikas with the throw-in. Bergvall wins it, heads it down towards Bissouma, flicks it on down the line, and Tsimikas clears long. And Jagerson lets that bounce over him. Didn't really have a choice. And Jota just dives on the floor. Wins the free kick. Just really a professional one from Jota, but there's nothing in it. Absolutely nothing in it. And McAllister now shouting at the referee. He chooses not to book him, of course. And Liverpool keep the ball now, go back to Van Dijk. Endo. Son putting some pressure on, and it goes back to Alisson. Solanke trying to stop him going to Van Dijk, so he goes down the middle to Endo, who's got a lot of space, and finds Tsimikas. These clubs are both the two highest scorers in the Premier League in the second half of games this season. Porro puts the pressure on Gakpo there, and it goes out for a Liverpool throw-in. Tsimikas goes backwards. Oh, bit of a dicky touch, and Solanke does well there, wins it. Now, can he find anyone? Oh, he does. He finds Brennan Johnson, who's in down the right. He's got to use his pace here, Brennan, but he's up against Van Dijk, who catches Johnson. And is the ref going to give a free kick there? He should, but I bet he doesn't. I guess he didn't because I was buffering and it's cut out. Porro throws it to Bissouma. His first touch is a bit dodgy, but it goes back to Dragusin. And Kinski gets a horrible ball from Dragusin and goes long across the pitch up to Jed Spence, who should win that header. Doesn't. Bradley beats him in the air, which he shouldn't really do, but it goes off for a Spurs throw. But that was good from Kinski. What I liked from Kinski there was he's backing off to get the pass from Dragusin, and he's saying at the same time to Archie Gray, get away from me. Give me an option. Get away from me. So he's a good communicator as well. That's good to see. Spence to Bissouma, and he's fouled there, Jed Spence. And the fans ironically cheer because the ref has given nothing to Spurs so far. Spence gets the ball back. He's in a bit of a tight one down the line there, and he's got no options at all. And ends up just kicking it straight to the Liverpool player. And it's so easy. So easy for Liverpool. Spurs seem to get themselves in too many tight situations in the corners, whereas Liverpool find their way into the kind of narrow areas easily and find space a lot more easily. They go back now to Endo, who goes back to Alisson. There's pressure on Liverpool here in their right back position. Sonny on Bradley. And Bissouma ends up kicking it off for a throw-in. And the fans are up in arms about something. Yeah, because Liverpool tried to take about 20 yards with their throw-in, and they've still done it, and the ref doesn't care. And the fans are not happy about that at all. Bergvall puts the press on, but they get out of it again, Liverpool. And it comes to Tsimikas and Johnson. He's pressing, but he looked tired in his press, to say the least. And now Liverpool have it in midfield with McAllister, and they're too easy in midfield. Bergvall is working hard. Sonny is working hard. It's in on the right now. And Sonny's body position was good there, and they've gone for the dink to the back post. It's a free header for Gakpo, but it just goes over the bar. It just goes over him and off for a goal kick. Nobody was picking up Gakpo or Tsimikas at the far post, and it's Brennan Johnson once again, who didn't pick either of them up. He just stops. That time, Dragusin drives the ball out of defence and plays a long ball over the top, and Van Dijk clears it for a throw-in. And now the referee has called Spurs back for not taking their throw from the right place, and the fans are in uproar. Very frustrated. I'm very frustrated with Brennan Johnson in a game like this. It's not like a game against the kind of lower clubs who are playing 11 behind the ball. You cannot afford to not put 100% in every time. You can't. And there were two men free at the back post from that Liverpool cross from Mo Salah. And if it had been a bit lower, Gakpo would have had a free header and Liverpool would have scored. Anyway, we're back in the left-hand side with Jed Spence. Sonny's touch is poor, but it gets it back to Archie Gray. Dragusin plays it out to Johnson, who loses the ball and is then fouled. And he stays down, Brennan Johnson. Tsimikas fouled him. Bit of a bitty start to this second half. To me, it looks like with Brennan Johnson, he only really gets interested in getting to full speed when he's got the ball and that ball's ahead of him and you can run onto it. When he's chasing back, he's kind of jogging all the time, and it's not good enough. I think Johnson was trying to get a... Bissouma goes for a big, long diag here, and it does find Sonny, but it goes over his head. It's a throw-in. Tottenham have to find a way to keep possession better. I think our fatigue is making us struggle with it. Kulusevski's not in this game at all at the moment. Jed Spence, turn away, mate. Turn away. And he does. He goes back to Archie Gray. This is where we miss Romero and Van de Ven more than anything, is our ability to keep the ball from the back. Johnson got the ball off Dragusin then. Bissouma is just up against 3 pressers all the time, but he does well with a good ball into Jed Spence, who gave him an inside option there. And Spence is driving, and he's got Son outside him, and Jed Spence carries on. And Son goes for an early cross this time. I can see why he did that. Solanke running across the near post, but it goes straight into Alisson's arms. Alan Smith on co-commentary saying Liverpool are out of sorts. I wouldn't say that. I would just say that Tottenham are working hard. Liverpool look really good in possession, I have to say. They look sharp. And they're taking a lot of time over this throw-in that they've also nicked about 15 yards from. Spurs fans are livid about it. Bergvall wins it. It was Bissouma who actually won it. And Kulusevski was a bit deeper there. I wouldn't mind Kulusevski coming quite deep and getting the ball off the back four a bit more, you know. Dragusin driving forward. He gives it to Bergvall. He's under pressure and therefore gives a difficult ball and kicks it off the pitch. Not sure. We've got many options in midfield off the bench, have we? Mikey Moore? Mikey Moore would definitely take the ball in dangerous areas. Got Yang, of course. We want to do something a bit different and have some real pace. Tsimikas with the throw into the 54th minute. Oh, and that's too easy. And that's happened twice in this game. It's bypassed our midfield, that throw, completely. Now Salah in on the right. And Bissouma got his body in a good position to block the pass, but Salah gets it back. That has happened twice in this game where we've just been dissected by a long throw. So poor. Spence working hard against Salah. And he wins a throw. Well done, Jed Spence on the left. Jed Spence taking a little time over this throw, and I don't mind that. Get your breather where you can, Spurs, to be honest. He goes down the line. Up to Sonny. Oh, it's Solanke, actually. He does well. Finds Spence. He's fouled there, Solanke. And he gets the foul. And Jed Spence picks the ball up. Curtis Jones fouls him. Like I said, a bit of a bitty second half so far. Nothing clear-cut, but frustrates me so much when Spurs are dissected by just a mid-range throw. It's just showing just not enough cover at central midfield. Anyway, Dragusin finds Johnson, who tries the ball down the line towards Porro. And Bergvall's putting the press on as well here. So Alisson under a lot of pressure. Oh, and Bergvall nearly nicked it off Alisson. And then he does, and a chance for Porro. Oh, it's blocked. Got to put him in. Porro's in. Big chance, Spurs. Oh, he's put it wide. Brilliant from Bergvall pressing Alisson. Porro had the shot, and then Bergvall with a brilliant pass through, and he's just tried to dink him, and it would have worked, but it goes wide. Huge chance for Spurs, and Ange on the floor. But that was a great press from Bergvall. And Kinski there nicely just dummying the Liverpool player. And now Kinski being pressed again. And he finds Archie Gray. He's on his own, has to go down the line. Good stuff. Easy for Van Dijk. But Solanke did put the pressure on him well then. Gravenberch trying to roll Bergvall in midfield, and he does well. Liverpool down the right now. That was a huge chance for Spurs, and Porro was one of the players I wouldn't have minded being in that position. Bergvall did magnificently there, pressing Alisson. Not only once, but twice, sliding in, getting the ball the second time back to him from Porro's shot that was blocked, and then playing a beautiful through ball to Porro. I think he did the right thing trying to dink Alisson, but just didn't get it straight enough. And that's what I'm talking about with Kinski. We will concede chances just like Alisson does, who's the best at that in the world. But anyway, the ball comes out to Gakpo wide left now. And as ever, Tsimikas running outside him. But Johnson is with, that time, was with Porro. And now the fans are behind Spurs. Tsimikas on the left. Back to McAllister. Plays it inside to Gakpo. Goes back to McAllister. Now they bring it across to the right-hand side with Endo, who goes early out to Salah, who tries to play it inside Jed Spence, who just intercepts it beautifully. And Liverpool bringing on Nunes and Diaz, who Diaz always scores against Spurs. Liverpool, the 60th minute coming up, showing their strength in depth with the subs they're going to make here. Solanke keeps working hard, pressing pressing Van Dijk. Bergvall puts a good press on the Liverpool backline now. Good lungs from Lucas Bergvall here. And Solanke's gone the wrong way with his press there, leaving a very easy pass out to Endo. And now Liverpool break through midfield. Bissouma is wrong side. And Kulusevski needs to work hard back now. He's looking back to see if he needs to, and he does, but he's not. And Salah plays the long ball over the top. And Spurs a bit fortunate there. And on the break, and that's a foul from behind on Son. Not given by the referee, of course. And Sonny is injured now. Sonny down injured. Looks like it might be cramp, but Liverpool are in down the right. Spence on his own. And as ever, a cross is free at the back post. And Kinski, I tell you what, it nearly goes over Kinski's head, but he saves it well on his line. Oof. Sonny got a foul from behind, a tackle from behind there. Most of those, they tend to be given by referees, but it wasn't. And none of the 50-50 decisions have been going Spurs' way. So we're in the 60th minute, and Liverpool are bringing on Trent, Diaz, and Nunes on for Jota, Bradley, and Gakpo. Wow, okay. Well, Liverpool's showing their strength in depth. Now, is Ange going to bring some legs on at any point as well? Trent and Diaz, in particular, done really well against Spurs recently. Let's see what happens. 60th minute. Yeah, Diaz scored the first goal against Spurs in the game, the 6-3 the other week. Kinski goes long with the ball this time. Solanke gets his body in between. Van Dijk does really well, and he's fouled from behind, and the ref does give it. And the fans just so ironically cheering because he's getting nothing. Gravenberch tries to brick Solanke up. Oh my God, and it's scraped down the back of his leg. That should be a red card. Oh, and Spurs have lost it high. Oh, and Dragusin does really well up against Nunes, thankfully. Gets it back to Kinski. Kinski is positive with his footwork and goes long. Spurs losing the ball too easily in midfield here, though. Liverpool popping it around Spurs at the moment in midfield. And Trent obviously going straight for that long diag. Finds Diaz on the left now. He will cause just as much trouble, if not more. An early cross. Good chance here for Liverpool. Nunes. Well saved by Kinski. Straight at him, but has to jump high. Oh, and Spurs giving a dangerous one to Kinski. Rolls it out nicely to Dragusin, who gives it short to Porro, who's in all sorts of trouble. No one helping him. Goes down the line. And that comes off a Liverpool play off McAllister. Just Liverpool pressing Spurs down the side so hard. It doesn't look like it's dropping off at any point. Porro with the throw in now. Half an hour to go in this one. Just Liverpool, just man for man on Spurs all the time. There's no outball for Spurs at the moment. Oh, Solanke tries to find Johnson, nearly does. We need more from Brennan Johnson in this game. We really do. We need more from him. Get involved. There's Alisson. Finds Trent. Looking for a ball in midfield, but he just goes to drop one over the top of Archie Gray, and it does go over the top of Archie Gray to Nunez. And Diaz is in at the back post here. Oh, and Kinski with a really big shout. Good goalkeeping, because he shouted and Dragishin falls over it as a result. Dummies over it. And then he throws it out to Kulusevski. He gives it to Porro. He's like, puts his hands out because he's got no options. So Dragishin gives it to Kinski on his line. And Kinski tries the big ball across. And Spencer's in trouble now. Liverpool just pressing man for man. And Spurs can't get out of it. Comes to midfield. And Sonny is beaten in the air too easily. And now they have it in midfield with McAllister. Salah now. They've got bodies down the right here, Liverpool. Jones inside to Gravenberch, who turns away. And Endo down the right. And now Son. And Trent with the left-footed cross. Archie Gray gets something on it. But Liverpool pick it up outside the box once again. And Archie Gray wins one there. And does beautifully with the ball at his feet. And he's driving out of centre-back now. Can he find the right ball? Oh, what a ball from Archie Gray into Jackie Kulusevski. He's in down the right now. Liverpool have got bodies back, though, and it's on his wrong side. He tries to cross the box, comes back to Decky. That was unbelievable from Archie Gray. Wow. And Liverpool clear it on the right-hand side. What a player. Yeah, Alan Smith on CoComs has just said something that I've been saying about Archie Gray. He could be a future captain. I've been saying he could be like our next Steve Perryman or Gary Mabbott. Decky in at the byline now. Bergvall with a chance for a first-time cross. It's a good cross, but cleared by Liverpool pretty easily. And now Spurs pick up the second ball in midfield. Gray gives it to Bissouma, who goes back to Dragishin, who's not blessed with options. And Porro. That's definitely a Spurs throw. Porro tried to find Bissouma, who's just marked. Spurs are marked in midfield all the time. Liverpool have an extra man in midfield the majority of the time. Beautiful from Archie Gray. He basically picked the ball up. He read a pass that was coming through, takes a good touch, then beats 2 or 3 men, and then with the outside of his boot, passed it into Kulusevski. And if Spurs had a player, if it was actually Johnson in rather than Kulusevski on the right, we'd have had more pace to be able to deal with it. Good stuff down the line from Porro. Kulusevski, and look at that, Van Dijk beating Solanke to the ball, struggling to hold it up today. Allison now finds Endo, plays a ball down the middle. Bergvall's, great turn from Gravenberch. Johnson needs to be stronger there in the 50-50. He pulled out of it. Poor. And now Liverpool have played it across to the right-hand side with Trent. Bissouma's wrong side of the midfield now, and they're in down the right-hand side. Chance for Liverpool. Oh, Dragishin missed his kick. Spurs getting bodies back, and it comes to Kinski. Bergvall again did well. Good ball from Dragishin into Porro this time, who turns well into Kulusevski. Tries to flick down the line. It's not on Decky. This might be a game too far for Decky today. He's not on it at all. Oh, and they're in down the left with Diaz. Get off the pitch. And it does get off the pitch, thank God. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let's get the engagement started in the comments. Do you think Kulusevski is, do you keep him on the pitch even though it's kind of bouncing off him all the time? His form this season says yes, but anyway, Kinski with the ball at his feet now. He just dinks one over the top to Jed Spence. Liverpool come out to him, so it goes to Son, but Liverpool win it high as a result, and Archie Gray has to clear. And Liverpool, therefore, win it in central midfield. Solanke put his muscle in there, though, and Bergvall does well on the second ball. Porro tries to find Brennan Johnson. How's your touch? It's good. And he finds Decky inside. Decky's down the right now. Spurs have a 3-on-3 here, but it's on Kulusevski's wrong side. Cuts in on his left. Goes outside to his right. Tries the cut back, but again, Liverpool just have a player in the right position, and then Porro fouls Diaz, who kindly... And that's Bergvall's booking right there. Bergvall with the second one. Oh, and actually, no contact. No contact on it at all. But if you slide in, the ref's going to give it. We're into the 68th minute now. Lucas Bergwall, I think, has played really well. Been very impressed with him. But as I said at the beginning of the show, he loves a slide-in tackle. And he tends to get booked. Anyway, Endo into McAllister. Bergvall again putting the press on. Just like his Swedish counterpart. He's got good lungs on him, Lucas Bergvall. And he pressed Alisson again then, who just dinks it out to Van Dijk. I wonder how many more minutes Sonny can do realistically. Be tempted to bring someone on. Mikey Moore, Yang, out wide left. Attempt to try and get involved in the game when we got the ball, come in a bit narrower. To try and make up for the kind of bodies that we seem to be one man short in central midfield, but I think it's just more like it's their best players in central midfield playing all the time. Anyway, it comes out to Salah, who's now fronting up Jed Spence. He plays the ball inside. It's a big chance for Nunez. Good save, Kinski at the near post. Well done. Jed Spence picks up the return. Plays it to Archie Gray. Oh, and Kinski comes all the way to collect a long ball. Great goalkeeping. Salah found Nunez. It's a good run in behind. And Kinski just stands up and spreads himself nicely. Good save. Good performance so far from the kid. Now, Spence in down the left. He finds Sonny, but it's a bit behind him. And that gives Liverpool every chance just to get back. But Bergvall turns away well, gives it to Basuma, who gives it back to Bergvall, who will find Dragishin. Now, someone give Dragishin an option. Just got over the halfway line. Dragishin into Johnson. Beautiful play. And Porro is in down the right now. At the byline. How's your cross? It's a good cross. Oh, and Solanke. Great defending from Liverpool, to be fair. Solanke at the near post. Tried to come across, and then Trent plays a magnificent ball out to Nunez, who holds it up on the halfway line. Liverpool, they've got bodies forward now, but Basuma gets in a good body position there and finds Johnson, who plays just a horrible pass. Liverpool have it back. Oh, Brennan Johnson, what are you doing? Comes out wide left to Nunez, plays a good ball inside. Nunez is going to try and have a shot, is he? Oh, he plays a good ball out to Trent, who's going to have a free cross at this. Dinks it. Well cleared Dragishin. That's what he's best at. Clears it with his head. Johnson has not been good since he's come on the pitch. And now Liverpool in down the left with Diaz. Inside to Jones. Finds Tsimikas on the left. Gets an early cross in. Comes all the way across now to Trent, who's going to hit it first time. Oh, and it's cleared off the line brilliantly from Dragusin. And the return goes just wide. It's an incredible shot from the... It's a cross that comes all the way across, and it's a brilliant technique from Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's going in at the far post, and Dragishin was in the right place. Well done, kid. Brilliant clearance with his left foot as well. And then the return, Dragishin would have cleared that as well, but it went wide. And Kinski is right on him saying, come on. Beautiful shot. Now there's a break in play. Dragishin getting a fist bump from Kinski. Give him a hug. And Sonny, as I said, is coming off. Who's coming on for you, Sonny? '71st minute. Kulusevski takes over the armband. Timo Werner. I cannot believe that. Oh, God. Come on, Timo, prove me wrong. You did score against Man City. But the problem is, he will work back. That's what I'll give him the credit for. He will work back. But the problem is, the only balls that our left-siders are getting, like Sonny was getting, was in very tight spaces, and Timo's touch is just not there. So it shows Mikey Moore clearly not fit enough to even come on. Anyway, goal kick taken. Solanke climbs. .72 minutes gone. Got to hope this Kolo Muani move comes off so that we can see the end of Timo Werner, basically. It's just his confidence. That's the problem. I don't dislike him as a man. Anyway, throw down the line. Solanke tries to hold it up, but Liverpool once again just easily winning those 50-50s and easily winning it whenever Spurs try to hold the ball up. Come on, Brennan Johnson. I want more from you in this last 20 minutes. Werner now putting the press on. Or Bergvall. Oh, Bergvall slides in there, and he has to be careful. He's on a booking there. What are you doing there, Lucas? And Liverpool play it nicely across to the left-hand side. They've got Tsimikas with Diaz outside him. Diaz now at Porro. Gets it to the byline with Tsimikas. Great block from Porro. Stops the cross. Kulusevski picks it up and wins a 50-50. Gives it to Porro. And Porro cuts back inside. Needs an option here, Pedro Porro. And he's fouled. Well done, Pedro Porro. Fouled by Diaz. Spurs fans trying to get behind the team now, giving it some come on you Spurs. Comes back to Kinski, who lays it comfortably out to Dragusin. He takes on Nunes, and he plays a lovely 1-2 with Johnson. Now Dragusin do the right thing. He's driving at centre midfield, plays a heavy touch, and then tries a ridiculous through ball. Dragusin was taken out there, and he's out of position here, and Bassoum has to dive in, and Archie Gray cuts out a block. Well played. And as a result, Timo Werner is in behind Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's driving. Go on, use your pace, Timo. He does. Gets across. Can he get it to the near post? Fucking doesn't try and cross it. Tries to shoot. He's an idiot. Looks like he tries to beat him at the near post there. Anyway, that was better from Spurs on the break. That is what Timo can do, is use his pace to get in behind. But Bergvall, in that little period of play, dived in to try and make a long tackle, and him and Bissouma need to be so careful, both on bookings. You cannot be doing with the last 10, 15 minutes with 10 men here against Liverpool. He looks so comfortable on the ball as Van Dijk goes for an easy long one over where Porro is from Diaz, and Johnson's nowhere near him here, helping him out. But Kulusevski comes, but Kulusevski helping has gone straight to a Liverpool player. So fortunate. Diaz picks it up again, tries the one over the top, goes out. Dead Spence in a good position. He tried to find Mo Salah, and it's a goal kick to Spurs. Luis Diaz loves playing well and scoring against Spurs because we nearly signed him. Though we did get Bentincur and Kulusevski. Hope that Bentincur is going to be okay. So they cut to Martin Chivers in the crowd. But what I hate about when they do this, the director, is that usually Spurs have lost the ball by the time they come back. But Werner has it and gives it to Spence, who gives it to Bergvall, and Liverpool getting their bodies back. Bergvall turns around in midfield, needs an option. Gives it to Dragusin, who they know. I loved that from Dragusin taking that 1-2 a couple of minutes ago. Really good stuff. As Porro tries a ball in behind, and Solanke's in. Is he offside? He's going to have a big chance here. Dom Solanke scores, but is he offside? It's not given offside. Wow. Let's see with VAR. You can't celebrate these days, but great goal. I'm not gonna celebrate, and this is why I hate VAR, because it's either an incredible run from Solanke or he's offside, and he doesn't look that confident. So Dragusin plays it into Porro, who plays it to Bergvall, who plays it back to Porro. It might be Alexander-Arnold keeping him on at the far side, but this is going to be very tight indeed. Then Solanke's through, and he slips it under Alisson. It's a great finish. And the VAR lines are getting drawn on as we speak, and I'm not celebrating. I wonder if it's going to be just offside, Solanke's shoulder offside, and another bit of bad luck for Spurs. But that was good football down the right. And the last couple of minutes, Dragusin has been doing better down the right. Little 1-2, and then a little ball into Porro. These lines with the Carabao Cup VAR don't look... These angles don't look great, to be honest. Come on, just give it onside. Come on, why not? Give it onside. Come on, Tottenham. Deserve a bit of luck this season. It's offside. Yeah, if it had been the quarterfinals, it would have been onside because there was no VAR. So lucky Liverpool there. Liverpool fans will be saying we deserve that because of what happened in our match here last season. But shame. Good stuff from Tottenham. And it's come twice here. I don't know why they said offside, but waiting for the communication. Oh, the ref has to tell. This will be the first time this happened. Ref telling the fans. And that is the first time that has happened in English football. The referee reads it out, gives it to the whole fans. Solanke was offside. It was so close, though. Trent nearly keeping him on. Guys, 4,000 of you watching at the moment, please do give this a like. And shaking his head. He doesn't like VAR. We knew it was going to happen with Spurs. Of course we did. And the Spurs fans booed it right royally. Anyway, the ball comes over and Archie Gray has to clear one there. Comes to Tsimikas now. Or Bergvall tried to put the press on, but he's beaten. But he gets the second one. Gets out to Jed Spence, but Salah nicks in ahead of him and Liverpool have it in midfield now. Trent. Out wide to Salah. He's got Werner in front of him. Werner does all right. Makes him go backwards. Trent, good ball, but Spence picks it up. Spence finds Bergvall. Does well there, Lucas. Now he needs an option. And he plays one over the top towards Brennan Johnson, who's up against Virgil van Dijk, so that won't be easy. Use a bit of strength here. Okay, Johnson fouls Tsimikas. Tsimikas goes down so easily. Refs always give that, though. 79 minutes gone. Tottenham with a disallowed goal. They've worked their nuts off today, Tottenham Hotspur. They've been unlucky with Bentincur's injury, but they're still in this tie at the moment. And this last 10 minutes is going to be huge. Konate coming on for McAllister. So that will push Endo into central midfield. So Konate, they now have their full strength back four pretty much, Liverpool, other than I guess maybe Robertson on the left. But Tsimikas is really pushing Robertson at the moment, isn't he? Konate plays a good ball down the line into Salah, who's pressed by Spence, but he goes back to Endo. Comes to Tsimikas. Out wide to Diaz, goes back to Tsimikas. Don't both go and press him. Solanke goes, Kulusevski stays off, and it goes across now to Konate. Konate goes for the long one over the top to Diaz, who pushes Porro out the way, and it comes to Nunez, and Bissouma does well, and Porro helps him out and is cleared. Well done, Biss. Comes to Gravenberch. Diaz. Sorry, not Diaz. Van Dijk into Endo to Trent, who looks to play one in between. Do you know what? Archie Gray has dived at the keeper's feet there. Archie Gray helped his keeper out, but he could have left it. Spence helps him out and passes it to Gray. Great stuff between the youngsters here. Into Bissouma, back to Jed Spence. That was good stuff. Archie Gray took responsibility there, and I don't mind it. Bissouma, and Archie Gray has to clear it down the line towards Werner, and Konate has to clear it. Good stuff from Tottenham there. Kinski now. He goes long and flat with this one over the top, but Johnson had come short, but he was under a bit of pressure. Johnson not quite on the same wavelength there. As Solanke presses Van Dijk, so he easily goes to Konate. Goes inside to Jones. Liverpool. Oh, it's Trent actually, not Jones, and he plays a lovely ball in between the lines to Endo, who finds Mo Salah, who can't keep it on. Good stuff from Spurs. 4,100 of you watching now. Come on, Spurs. Last 10 minutes. This is good. Bissouma on the ball. Plays out wide. I tell you what, Archie Gray looking a little injured. He was on his haunches there, Archie Gray. But he's been given the ball anyway, which I'm not sure he wanted. Plays it into Werner, who does well to Spence. Can he give it back to Werner? Jed Spence breaks it on his own. Give it to Werner now. Give it in front of Werner. Spence cuts back instead. Werner's outside him now. That's good from Spence. Werner now. Fronting up Trent Alexander-Arnold. Go down the line, Timo. He tries the cross the first time instead. And it's cleared, but it comes to Jed Spence. Good stuff from Spence and Spurs. And Jed Spence driving again there. Finds Werner at the byline, who's going to cuts back onto his right foot. Spence is there for him. Give it to Spence, Timo. He finally finds Jed Spence. He gives it back to Timo Werner. Cuts it, a bad ball into Bergvall, but he deals with it well. And Spence has it again. Timo outside him. Gives it into Kulusevski in the box here. Kulusevski tries a shot, which he shouldn't, and it goes through to Alisson. Oh, Bergvall. Oh, I'll tell you what, Bergvall slid in again. I thought he was going to get sent off. But he says he got the ball, and Nunes is in down the left up against Dragicin. Cuts onto his right foot. Big chance outside the box for Gravenberch and a free shot here. Straight down Kinski's throat. Lucky. Bergvall very lucky not to get a second, not to be sent off for that. And he's dived in for a few of them now. And if you're Ange, what have we got? About 6 minutes left, and Tsimikas is still on the floor, and Virgil van Dijk is complaining. Should have been a second booking. But it's not been that kind of game. And I'm pleased that the ref has made that decision. I really am, because Tottenham have been a bit unlucky with stuff in the recent games. And that would have meant Bergvall out for the second leg of this. And Bergvall, I think, has put in my opinion, a brilliant, brilliant performance. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Also, make sure you give this video a like if you haven't already. Please do subscribe to Chris's YouTube channel, @ChrisCowlin, if you're not already a subscriber. And for more daily Spurs content, and during this January window, daily transfer videos, come and follow my YouTube channel. You can see it in the bottom left-hand corner there, @Barnaby Slater _. Make sure you find @Barnaby Slater _. The underscore is huge, because I have another Barnaby Slater old account, but that's not where the football is. That's not where Spurs are, @Barnaby Slater _. We're into the 85th minute now, guys. Still 0-0. It's been a scrappy game. Liverpool have been better, more rhythmic, but you'd expect that. And Spurs have put in a lot of effort as Porro tries a long ball again through to Solanke, and Alisson doesn't come for it. And Solanke uses his pace. Chance here for Bergvall. He scored! Lucas Bergvall! Brilliant from Spurs, and the kid fucking deserves it. And Liverpool will be up in arms because he should have just been sent off. But Solanke held it up. First time ball to Bergvall. Bergvall shoots bottom right-hand corner, and it's nothing more than Tottenham have deserved. Brilliant. Porro over the top to Solanke. Holds it up with strength. And Virgil van Dijk is livid because Bergvall should arguably be sent off for a second bookable offence, but there was no contact for his first bookable offence. Great finish from Bergvall, who has been everywhere today, and the kid has arrived. The kid has arrived. Here it comes. Kinski laid it to Dragicin, who gave it to Porro, and for once, they weren't pressed by Liverpool, so he plays the long one into the channel. And Solanke, ever running Solanke, holds off Konate with great strength, and then his pass to Bergvall is brilliant. First time, bottom left-hand corner, bang! And Spurs will be in this tie, I think, going into the second leg. Whatever happens in this last 5-10 minutes, we will be in the tie. The finish from Bergvall is amazing. The kid has arrived. He didn't want to go to Barcelona. He chose Spurs. He had a difficult first few months, but these last few games, he's shown what he's all about. And he deserves everything. And Slot was booked after that for complaining. Van Dijk, I think, may have been booked as well. Liverpool now with Trent, and Solanke's going to get booked, I think. No, Trent keeps the ball. Trent now with a big, long diag over towards Diaz. It's a great ball. They're in the box now. Here comes the ball to the back stick. Great clearance from Spence. And Werner goes to help out. And here comes Liverpool now with Gravenberch. And out to Salah. Fronts up Spence. Werner's there helping him, though. Good lad, Timo Werner. Trent, though, back to Salah. Up against Spence. He needs help here, from Werner. Early ball cleared by Basuma. Well done, Biss. Comes back to Trent. And the fans are in this now. Massively. Comes to Virgil van Dijk. Come on, Tottenham. Stay strong here. Comes out to Luis Diaz. He's got Tsimikas outside him, but comes narrow, Tsimikas. Oh, and brilliant play from Gravenberch. Finds Tsimikas as well. Again, what a good player he is. Always was at Ajax. Van Dijk now brings it across to Endo. To Konate. Spurs on the edge of their own box here. And Trent will get a free cross. Great block. He gets a second bite of the cherry. Archie Gray gets his head on it, but comes to Tsimikas on the edge of the box. Oh, and I tell you what, Decky nearly bit in there, but here comes the cross from Tsimikas. It's a good one. Bissouma with the first one, and then cleared second time by a very tired-looking Dominic Solanke. Van Dijk gets it. Brings it out wide to Diaz. He's got Tsimikas outside him. He'll have another cross. Spurs don't stop it. It goes deep this time. Over the top of Spence. Salah can't bring it down. Trent into Endo. Comes back to Trent, and he's going to put one on the left foot. Free header. And then Bissouma whacks it clear. And it goes to the halfway line. And it's going to be a throw-in. And they'll go back to Alisson. There's no away goals in this two-legged semi-final. That's his first goal for Spurs, Lucas Bergvall. Brilliant. Liverpool with a big diag over the top. And Tottenham, take your time with this throw-in now. Absolutely no rush. Take your time. Brilliant play from Dominic Solanke to set up that goal. And what a finish from Lucas Bergvall. Come on, you Spurs. Come on. Could it be a season changer? Fucking deserved that. What a kid. I love this kid. Fucking worked his nuts off. Yes, and Ange with his fists up. Alan Smith on COCOM saying how Ange has suffered in recent weeks. And rightly so. He has, sorry. He's right. And Ange giving Bergvall a lovely pat on the head and saying, come on, keep going. We're into the 90th minute now. How much added time will they find? I'm sure they'll find 5 minutes from somewhere. Bergvall just having a little... There's a bit of a break in play here. I'm not sure why. 90th minute. Tottenham's youngest scorer since Alfie Devine, who scored in an FA Cup game, I think. Was that at Marine, maybe? Oh, and I've got to do the score. The first one wasn't a booking, though, so I don't care that that one should have been a booking, because the first one wasn't. There was no contact in the first one. And that's a bit of luck that Tottenham deserve. Fuck you. Fuck you, Alan Smith, for talking about it. Fuck you, Arnie Slot, for complaining about it. 7 minutes added. I do not know where 7 minutes has come from. That's bollocks. Right. 7 minutes to go then. Come on, Spurs. The game started again. Tsimikas wins a header. Solanke working midfield. Does well to win it. Gives it out to Werner, who takes on Trent. He's blocked, but it's not given. He was a bit lightweight there, Werner. Konate now out to Van Dijk. He brings it out to Diaz. It's where a lot of the issue is. Spurs have a player off the pitch here, I think. Dragishin's still off the pitch. What is going on here, ref? Oh, and he lets him come on now. He's got to get there quickly, Dragishin, because they're going to put a cross in with Trent in a second. And he does. He gets an early one in. What a ball. Nunes nearly got on the end of that. And that should be a free kick to Spurs, because he heads the back of the Spurs player. So it comes out to Trent. They're just showing the replay here. Dragishin just about got in. And Diaz comes in and clears out. I think it's Pedro Porro with an elbow to the head. And for the first time, Slot is rattled. Spurs fans are into this. 92nd minute now. Come on, Tottenham. They deserve a win out of this. They really do. Just for the hard work they've put in and for what's gone wrong in recent matches. Kinski with the goal kick. He goes long. Good lad. Spurs, Solanke knocked over on the right. Not given. And Archie Gray and Dragishin let that bounce, but it comes to Jed Spence. Tries to bring it down. Then he's kind of pushed and handled from behind, but Jed Spence does well and beats Trent really well and goes inside to Bissouma. Plays a good ball towards Werner, but unfortunately it's just a bit ahead of him. Unlucky. 93 minutes gone now. 4 left. Van Dijk. Konate, too easy into Gravenberch, and everybody went towards the ball. And Liverpool are in on the left here with Diaz, and he's got a man outside him. He goes with the cross. And Nunez. I thought that was going to hit the back of the net. Oh, it's saved. What a save from Kinski. Corner. Okay, Tsimikas is doing a big old outswinger here with the corner. Here it comes. Be strong here, boys. Solanke up at the near post. Kulusevski can't thread it down. Or can he? We could be in here. Timo Werner down the left. It's 3-on-3. And he plays it down the line. And Kulusevski is up against, I think, Gravenberch. Uses his strength there, Decky, but not strong enough. And it's actually Nunez who had got back. He plays one down the line, but comes all the way through to Kinski, who gives it to Pedro Porro. Put your foot on the ball a bit here, Spurs. He does. He goes into Bissouma, who goes back to Archie Gray, who goes for a long ball over the top. That is a bad decision. Very rare bad decision from Archie Gray. It goes straight through to Tsimikas, and Liverpool have the ball back. Thought Tottenham could have put their foot on it a little bit there, but they are, to say the least, absolutely knackered. What a save that was from Kinski. Anyway, Liverpool again attacking down the left, which is where they've been most dangerous all day. And Diaz now fronting up Pedro Porro. Beats him easily. But he kicks it off. No penalty there. Diaz claiming a pen. Absolute dive. Nothing doing. Embarrassing from Diaz. Porro kept working. He just took a heavy touch there, Diaz, because Porro was putting him under pressure. 95 minutes gone now. Come on, Tottenham. It was actually wasn't Slot who was booked. It was Hulsoff, one of his assistants or his coach. One and a half minutes to go. Come on, Tottenham Hotspur. Stay strong. Spurs fans loving this at the moment. Going full metal jacket on when the Spurs go marching in. Ball down the line to Solanke. He turns his man and he's fouled off the pitch. That should be a foul. That should be a booking for Konate. But Solanke's done brilliantly there. And that will waste some valuable time. Okay, Tottenham have the free kick. Werner's on it. He takes it short to Bissouma. Someone give him an option down the line. Bissouma goes back all the way to Dragusin. And he tries to hit one over the top towards Pedro Porro, who uses his strength well against Diaz. Go to the corner. Oh, no, Porro loses it against Diaz, and he's out of position here. And Liverpool on the transition. Oh, and they're in down the left now. Both Johnson and Porro out. Bissouma goes there. Diaz cutting inside. Spurs trying to get bodies back. And Johnson is now at least back. Comes to Trent, who tries to dink it over the top. He was offside there, Salah. He was offside. The lino has to give it as offside. He was miles offside. He was fucking miles offside. And the lino's being a pussy and hasn't given it in case Salah scores. And now it's a corner to Trent. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. It's going to be an outswinger from Trent. And the ref is seeing problems in the middle. But I cannot believe the linesman there. I need to see that again. He looked about 3 yards offside, Salah there. You know they're going to make a chance from this. Here comes the outswinger. Good clearance from Bissouma. Come on, ref, blow up. We're in the 97th minute. Trent with another cross on his left foot this time. Comes deep. Bergvall up. Got to be strong underneath it. That's a foul on Porro for sure. It's dropping. Good blocks from Spurs. Come on, ref, blow up. What are you doing? What are you doing? 97 minutes 45. Simicas plays it into midfield, into Gravenberch. She tries the long ball over the top. Comes through to Kinski. Come on, you Spurs. Just sit on it. Oh, they're looking at a possible penalty, are they? It's not been given on the pitch. This cannot be a penalty. No. It's not enough in it. No, can't be. Anyway, Spurs now breaking forward with Timo Werner. He finds Kulusevski towards the byline, but Alisson comes out at his feet. And the ref has let this go into 98. And that's the end of it. And Spurs have won 1-0 against Liverpool. Come on, you Spurs. Come on. Come on. There was a VAR check in that last minute for a foul from Kulusevski. It did look like he snapped in on the challenge a bit, but he went down too easily. And big Ange Postecoglou deserves that. Tottenham fans deserve that. Lucas Bergvall deserves it. And now Van Dijk going back to the referee trying to say that Bergvall should have been sent off. Well, the first yellow card that Bergvall got was not a booking anyway. He didn't get any contact on the first one, Van Dijk. So you can go fuck yourself. And Tottenham Hotspur absolutely deserve that win. A huge, huge, huge win for Tottenham Hotspur. And this could be, there's still another leg, but in that second leg, we will have our best players back. And this could well be, guys, the possibility of the non-trophy derby. Newcastle versus Spurs in the final is a possibility. And I've been saying it for a while now that could happen. And how exciting would that be? Because I think the only club who would need a win in that kind of game more than Tottenham Hotspur is Newcastle. And that could put pressure on them. This is my instant match reaction to the Tottenham Hotspur 1, Liverpool 0 League Cup semi-final, first leg victory for Tottenham. And I'm just going to start by saying Tottenham absolutely deserved that. They deserved the fuck out of that. They put so much effort into that and so much hard work. And just Liverpool are a great team. They are really good at what they do. They know exactly how to pop the ball about. They know how to play each other's game. They've been together for years, this squad. But tonight, Tottenham made a brave change with Ange Postecoglou bringing in the new keeper, Antonin Kinski, for his debut. He keeps a clean sheet and he has changed the way that Tottenham Hotspur play their football. He is the first modern-day goalkeeper that Tottenham have ever had at their club, and his starting position throughout this whole match stopped Liverpool from playing balls over the top of our defence time and time again, like they did in the 6-3 win against us just a few weeks ago. They couldn't do it. They had to try something different, and they couldn't get it right. And that is because of Kinski. And he made some absolutely incredible saves as well. He was brilliant with his feet. We have got a star on our hands. And him and Guillermo Vicario from here on in will help each other. They will help each other. They will both become better goalkeepers. Wow, I'm so pumped about it. We deserve it so much. This could be an absolute season changer. It could be a season changer. Because all of the naysayers, Jamie fucking Redknapp, in the pundit's chair on Sky, just saying before the game, oh, you know what's going to happen. Tottenham are going to concede loads of goals. Like, he wants it to happen. Like, Ange Postecoglou doesn't tweak anything. Well, he does. He tweaks it. And even though today we started with such a strong, firm midfield with Bentincur, with Bergvall, and with Basuma, and then after 5 minutes, Bentincur goes off with what looks like a horrible, horrible injury. Like, as if it couldn't happen any more times for Tottenham this season. More injuries. But did we lie down and die? No. Did we think it's not going to be our season? No. We thought we're going to put everything in here. We're going to put 100% in. And they did it. And it was magnificent. I'm going to give you a brief minute-by-minute rundown of what happened in this game. And then I'll get into how I think the players performed, guys. I made a note, second minute, too easy for Liverpool to play through the midfield, but good box defending. And I'd say that was a bit of a familiar pattern of the game. There were too many times, I'd say, where Liverpool were able, as Kinski goes to hug, who I guess is his mum, in the crowd. I cannot get enough of this kid. Oh my God, his mum is so proud. She's crying. Is it his mum or his girlfriend? I can't even tell. That's how young they are. That's how young these kids are now. But he's having the biggest hug and they're so proud of him. What a moment for that kid. Unbelievable. Anyway, I was just saying the familiar pattern of the game is Liverpool were able to play balls through the lines. It looks like it must be his girlfriend. Either that or his mum is incredibly young, like much younger than me. Anyway, They found through balls between the lines far too easily, but Spurs did get bodies back. They were so much stronger in midfield all game than they were in that 6-3 reverse. But good defending around the box from Spurs in those early moments. Tsimikas in the 3rd minute passed it straight to Solanke, but Spurs couldn't quite make a chance from it. And that was very familiar as well. That first 15, 20 minutes, first half in all, actually. Many times Spurs' high press won the ball back, but we couldn't quite make a chance from it. Tottenham's injuries, meaning that I don't think our forward line, because of fatigue as well, is just able to be in the rhythm to make obvious chances. 4th minute, good stuff from Bissouma winning the ball in midfield. He had a good game, Bissouma. Nearly led to a chance, but didn't. Spurs won the ball high again in the 5th minute. That led to the corner, which led to Bentincur's injury. The corner was whipped in. Bentincur tries to flick it on at the near post. His shot was then... it came to Sonny at the back post, who hits it across the box with his left foot, and it's a big chance for Radu Dragushin. First time shot, well saved by Alisson. But from what I've seen at halftime, Bentincur wasn't looking that comfortable in the build-up to the corner in his face. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but then he definitely went down very uncomfortably as he went for that header. Some people are saying that he fainted. Some people are saying it's an arm injury. But the good news is he is talking, and he has been taken to hospital. So that is really, really good news. Then 14th minute. So it took from the 5th minute to the 14th minute before Bentincur was finally stretchered off. And the resulting corner from Sonny was a bad one. Kinski then had his kind of major, one doubtful, bit dodgy moment in the 17th minute. A bouncing ball came over the top of the back four, and Kinski was trying to wait for it to come into his box. And in the end, he had to put his foot on the ball high in the air and kicked it up to himself. Very rare you see a keeper doing that, but because of his starting position, he put himself in a good place to do it. He then hit a long, flat ball. His distribution is excellent towards Solanke, who couldn't get it down, but very excited about this kid. His starting position, his flat distribution, really good. 20th minute, Spurs won the ball high, but the cross from Kulusevski was well dealt with by Alisson. 21st minute, great chance for Spurs. Bissouma to Son, who crossed it across the front of the box. Solanke at the near post, looked like he might have been offside anyway. Got something on it, but it went wide. 23rd minute, big chance for Mo Salah, hits it wide. Spurs gave the ball away too easily, ended up with a shot on the edge of the box on his left foot from the left-hand side, though, trying to cross it into the right-hand top corner, just went wide. Straight away, Spurs got in down the left. The cross from Kulusevski was well saved by Alisson when Brennan Johnson would have been in at the back post. 29th minute, bit of luck for Spurs as Quanta had to go off. Endo came on. 30th minute, good stuff down the right from Spurs between Porro, Biss and Bergvall. Nothing came from it. Bissouma then got his bookie in the 31st minute, for stopping a transition. It was the right decision, though. I think Liverpool would have been in and may have scored if he hadn't. So well done, Bissouma. I've been complaining about Spurs players not taking professional fouls well enough this season. He did well there. The resultant free kick was poor defending, though. McAllister had a header free, not marked at all, but it went straight down Kinski's throat. 39th minute. Now, you're going to hear me from here on in talk a little bit about Brennan Johnson in a negative way. But in the 39th minute, he did something that got the fans right behind him. He chased back really hard and got 2 slide-in tackles in. And I want Brennan Johnson to be doing that the whole time. But unfortunately, he doesn't work hard enough back. And there were too many occasions, in my opinion, in that game where Johnson didn't work hard enough backwards. And we need him to. He came on when Bentincur went off. He actually wasn't starting the game. 42nd minute, I made a note. Spurs couldn't keep the ball and Liverpool's press was stifling us, suffocating us. 43rd minute on the transition down the left, Bergvall did brilliantly to stop Liverpool and block across. Kulusevski then gave away a dangerous free kick in the aftermath, but we dealt with it well. There were 11 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Liverpool just got in down the left endlessly. Salah hit one over the bar. Johnson had a chance on the break, but he cut in on his left when he should have taken it on his right. Then a tough shot for Kinski from Gakpo. Came at him, but it was swerving and bounced right in front of him, got enough of his body behind it. It nearly spilled out and into the goal, but it didn't. And I think he got his body behind it. That was the key. Gakpo got in down the left again, hit it over the bar. And then good play from Spurs. The very last kind of kick of that first half led to a Bergvall header from Sonny's cross, but an easy save for Alisson. Excuse me. Then into the second half. Good communication early doors from Kinski. He's loud as well, telling his players what to do. Across from Salah in the 50th minute, nearly found Gakpo. Johnson not working back at all and made a note from it. Poor. Early cross from Son into Alisson's arms in the 52nd minute. Spurs in the 54th minute for the second time in the game were dissected by a long throw. Not even that long, a kind of medium range throw from Liverpool, kind of bypassed our entire midfield. And we had to look out for that and we weren't. We weren't quite alert to that. That was in the 54th minute. Gakpo was in, found Salah, but it was poor form. It was poor from Salah and they didn't score from it. 55th minute, a huge chance to Spurs. the biggest chance other than a later disallowed goal and Bergvall's goal, and he did it all himself. That's why I'm going to give Bergvall man of the match. He pressed Alisson. Alisson kicked it out, and then Porro had a shot from the resulting press because Bergvall pressed again. And then Porro's shot was blocked. It came back to Bergvall, who slipped Porro in. He was one-on-one, tries to dink it over Alisson, but it just went wide. At that point, 55th minute, felt like it might be one of those games. 58th minute, Kinski did really well on his line with a high cross that came in from, I think it might have been, no, I don't know who the cross came in from, but it was a high cross, and it comes right under his crossbar. He dealt with it well under pressure. Sonny went down injured at that time. 59th minute, Trent, Diaz, and Nunes on for Jota, Bradley, and Gakpo. 60th minute, Virgil van Dijk scraped down the back of Dominic Solanke's calf. No booking given. Ridiculous. 61st minute, Nunes had a saved well by Kinski. 63rd minute, Archie Gray did one of the most beautiful things I've seen on a Tottenham football pitch for a long time. He intercepted a ball into his own box, but he didn't just whack it away. Put his foot on it, then beat 3 men, and then played a wonderful outside of the boot pass to Decky Kulusevski. Nothing came from it, but Archie Gray just proving what an absolutely brilliant player he is and will be. 65th minute, Dragusin missed kick, nearly came to a chance for Diaz at the back post, but Bergvall was in a great position to block the shot. 67th minute, Bergvall got his booking. It was a slide-in tackle on Diaz, but there was no connection there. He shouldn't have been booked. Porro tried and failed to get a tackle in first, but then Lucas Bergvall got Diaz diving. That will be relevant for later on. 68th minute, big chance for Nunes, but a great save for Kinski at the near post. His best save of the game. The cross came in from the byline. Nunes did really well to get something on it, to get the shot in at the near post, but Kinski with a big right hand at his near post tips it wide. Absolutely huge for Spurs. Then, 70th minute, Brennan Johnson with a terrible pass into midfield, and Dragusin off the line from an amazing Trent Alexander-Arnold shot. Huge for Dragusin, who also played really well. Sonny came off in the 71st minute. Decky Kulusevski went to skipper. Werner came on. I was worried about it, but he did pretty well. He kept us in possession and got us up the pitch. 73rd minute, great block of a cross from Porro at the left byline. Werner in behind in the 74th minute, but shot when he should have crossed. Then 76th minute, Solanke, one-on-one, goal disallowed after some great play from Pedro Porro. And they're just showing the replay of... They're just showing Bergvall's first booking. They're saying he gives the referee a decision to make. There's no contact there, and it shouldn't be a booking. But he did get booked from it, and therefore he should really, by the letter of the law, been sent off for the second one, but he wasn't, and I don't care about it. 79th minute, Scanati came on for McAllister. By the way, for that disallowed Solanke goal, it was beautiful stuff from Pedro Porro, played it through over the top, and a brilliant finish from Solanke, and he was only minusculely offside, very unlucky. 81st minute, Archie Gray took responsibility for a through ball. Kinski was coming out for it, but Gray thought, I'm not going to take the risk, and that was brilliant to see. And 82nd minute, good stuff around the box from Spurs, but a poor shot from Kulusevski. Bergvall dived in on Tsimikas. The ref played play on. That's when he was lucky not to be sent off. And they're talking all about it in the pundits' room now, but I don't care. And then 85th minute, Bergvall with the goal. Brilliant stuff. Porro over the top to Solanke. Used his strength, shoulders on Konate. Held it up, lays it into Bergvall. And a beautiful first-time finish, bottom left-hand corner. Absolute glory for Spurs. Bergvall has arrived as a Tottenham Hotspur player. I love him. You fans love him, surely. You're seeing now what an absolute bold talent we have. There were then seven added minutes, during which Trent Alexander-Arnold's crossing was absolutely amazing. Diaz had put an elbow in Porro's head. Slot was rattled on the sidelines, complaining about everything. Nunes had an effort saved by Kinski again, a brilliant save. A dive in the box from Diaz trying to win a pen. Solanke nearly set up a chance on a vital foul up the pitch. And then the linesman didn't give offside for something that clearly was offside, where I thought he didn't give it because he thought Salah might score, and I was raging at that point. Absolutely raging, but we kept it at 1-0. Brilliant stuff from Tottenham Hotspur. And I'm just going to say Kinski and Bergvall, my absolute men of the match. But Porro played beautifully as well. Dragusin had one of his best games for Spurs. Archie Gray is a Rolls Royce. Jed Spence, absolutely brilliant once again. Bentincur very unlucky, obviously. Then Bissouma was good as I've seen him play this season. Bergvall, like I said, 9 out of 10. He scored the winner. Sonny and Johnson, I have to say, left a lot to be desired, didn't play brilliantly. Kulusevski didn't have his best game, but kept on trying, and that's the key thing. And for me, I give the man of the match performance to Lucas Bergvall for scoring the winner, but Kinski is up there again as well, sorry. joint men of the match, and we've got a proper keeper on our hands now, guys, a proper modern keeper, and things are just going to get better and better from Spurs from here. I'm absolutely sure of it. That has been my post-match reaction, guys. Please do give the video a like. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and just enjoy this win. It's absolutely huge for Tottenham Hotspur going forward for the rest of the season. Okay, now moving on to global Tottenham fans from around the world. I'm going to bring you in and talk to you and get you on the show. I'm sorry, it's all been a bit, obviously, because of all of that added time there was in the first half. It's all been a little bit extra, but I've got a lot of you in the stage. So I'm going to, first of all, bring on Simone, who is in, where are you, Simone? You're in Italy, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm in Italy.
Is it Simone? Simone, is it?
Yes, Simone.
And Simone is the director of the Football Station Sport Italia Pundit. Simone, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on. Sorry for the delay. It's been obviously a long old game and a very, very exciting game. Tell me, what did you think of it from where you were watching?
Yeah, absolutely delighted for the Spurs win. The youngest team in the pitch showed great heart, great effort, and at the end of the day, they got the rewards. Liverpool didn't go with their full strength, even mentally. They didn't go with their full strength. I think that the effort from the Spurs players was absolutely amazing. The crowd was asking before the game to play for the badge, and of course we obtained that from the players. I completely agree, Barnaby, with what you were saying. But for me, the player of the match should go to Dom Solanke, because the effort he put to the team is absolutely incredible. Of course, Kingsley is a positive news for Spurs. Of course, Spence played quite well. I didn't agree with the behavior of Arne Slot that proved to the Premier League world that he's a gentleman. But I didn't like at all the way he conducted himself on the touchline with that verbal incident, because of course that was a second yellow card, clearly. But before it wasn't, never, absolutely never. It wasn't. It shouldn't be booked. So of course I think that the result is fair, because the best team didn't play well enough, and at the end of the day, the youngest players with their incredible effort took their revenge. Of course, in terms of the league, in terms of the injuries, in terms of every big injury mistake, we are currently talking about the worst season of the last 20 years. But winning game after game in the cup shows to the Spurs world that it's something like the magic of the 80s, the magic of the 90s. Yeah. So it's something romantic, something unique. And of course, there is the second leg, of course, with the big Ange line, the best team in the league. So Liverpool can score whenever they want. But of course, let's stop now and let's enjoy an incredible night, an incredible Spurs night, because it's a typical Spurs night of many, many years ago.
Simone, let me ask you, because I've talked a lot during the watch-along. I used to be a goalkeeper myself. I personally think that Kinski's starting position on the pitch, where he, I saw it a few times, where he's kind of halfway in his own half, had meant that when Van Dijk had the ball and Endo had the ball at centre half, or the fullbacks, they weren't able to just put that ball over the top of our high line, which is what we really suffered from in that first game, the 6-3 against Liverpool. And that's huge, right? That made a huge difference, I thought.
Yeah, credit to the staff that found this keeper in Europe. I saw him playing for Slavia Prague last season when they were playing AC Milan. It was as a journalist away covering AC Milan. He has improved a lot, and just like you were saying, he's a modern keeper, because he read every situation today quite well. So I think that it's a keeper that fits the way Big Ange wants his keepers to play. So absolutely positive debut. In the first half, I thought, wow, this keeper is a little bit crazy. But in the second half, he provided absolutely incredible saves to his teammates. Radu Dragusin actually played well. I think that it's unfair, some critics on this guy, because, for example, if he plays for low blocks, I think that he's a very, very good defender.
He is, yeah.
When he has to play in that kind of high line, I think he suffers. I think he struggles a little bit. So give him time, because I think that he's a very, very good cover. I was
going to say, Simone, sorry to interrupt, but do you think he's young enough? And you've obviously seen him a lot more in Serie A when he was at Genoa, wasn't he? Do you think he's young enough to kind of learn that and learn to be more comfortable on the ball as Ange really wants him to? Because if not, for me, the worry I have, or I think a lot of the worry that a lot of Spurs fans have, is they absolutely agree with you in that he's clearly a brilliant box defender and a great kind of low block and a deep defender. But if he's never going to be able to be comfortable on his ball and on the ball enough to play balls in between the lines the way that Christian Romero does, then why has he been picked by the recruitment side, by the recruitment team, to be an Ange ball player?
Well, of course, last season in January, Spurs needed a new centre back. I don't agree with the choice that they made, because just like you were saying, of course, as well, the Serie A is a softer league in terms of the rhythm and the pace that we've got here in Italy. It's not so fast like the Premier League. So in high line, Premier League, maybe he can struggle a little bit. But of course, not every game is the same. So, for example, when Radu Dragusin played away in Glasgow against Rangers, that was a very, very different game from what we are seeing today, the games that we are watching for example, tonight. It was a very, very difficult game. He actually played well. So it depends on the type of the game Spurs are going to play.
Okay, Simone, listen, thank you so much for calling in. Please do... Thanks for being a part of the show today. I really hope to speak to you again after a future game. Unfortunately, because of how long the game went on, I'm going to have to get people on a bit quicker with them.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege, because I've been following you for a very long time. So, of course, congrats,
Simone,
on
my new best friend, Simone. Thank you so much, and speak to you again soon. Cheers, mate. Okay, next up, I'm going to go to one of our regulars, Liam from London. Liam, at last we get to talk after a fantastic night. Liam, tell me how you're feeling about that.
Oh, I'm so happy, to be honest. The first time all season, in my opinion, we can say what a performance. Every player played their part. We were defensively great. I think genuinely defensively the best we've been all season. Every single player played their part. Draghi was great. Gray was great. Bergvall, what a player. Solanke done his job so well as well, holding up the ball and laying it off. That's what could be really exciting, by the way, if we get like Kolo Muani in the transfer window. Those kind of situations there where Solanke can hold it up and lay it off. We'll score so many goals, but I think we were great tonight.
No, I'm so pleased you mentioned Lucas Bergvall. I didn't really get a chance to mention him with the previous caller, but I've been feeling the last few games, I think we've probably discussed it, that he's getting there. He's starting to arrive, and tonight was his big arrival moment, I thought. Listen, do you know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to be too negative about Brennan Johnson. I just want him to work harder going backwards. But the way Bergvall works hard going backwards, for a kid, if I'm Brennan Johnson, I look at that and say, that's what we need as minimum requirement. And Bergvall's work, not just because he scored a brilliant, brilliant goal, but the fact that he's sliding in and he's putting his foot in everywhere and he goes hard into those 50-50s. Considering how he looks like a fresh-faced cherub. He's absolutely slamming into those tackles. And that's what we need. Look, we know we can score goals. We know we're exciting and attacking going forward, but we need to be winning those 50-50s and going in hard as well. And I thought Bergvall was outstanding.
100%. I think everything in that midfield as well, pressing high, coming back, he was great as well. He really did work hard. And I think that is exactly what we've been missing. A player that can break up the play in the midfield and then play an attacking pass forward. And Bergvall was doing that all night, winning the ball in the midfield, looking to pass forward. Even Bissouma, who's been pretty poor recently, he was doing that quite well, I think, in the midfield. He looked stronger tonight. He was winning the ball. He was constantly looking forward, which is, we've been criticising the last couple of games. We're constantly going backwards. But tonight, everything looked forward. Down the wings, we were great. Even when we rang on Werner, I was a bit like, oh, God, not Werner. But he done what he needed to do. Yeah. He kept hold of possession. We looked forward, and I think that's what we've been missing all season. It's just games like that, you think, why can't we play like this every week?
Yeah, listen, I've been saying it for a long time. I think it's going to be the non-trophy derby in the final. I've been saying I've got a Newcastle fan friend, I said to him last night, I said, I'm telling you, and he's like, calm down. Now, listen, we've got to go to Anfield, but we will go to Anfield with a lot better team than we had out there tonight. And Kinski, I'm just seeing now, giving Ange such a big hug and basically just being so proud, and his family hugging him in the ground. I think, and I know I said it to Simone before, but I think his starting position enabled everybody else in the team to play better, including Dragusin and Bissouma, because the spaces in between the keeper and all of the other players was so much less.
Yeah, I think that's where we done really well tonight. Like players like Salah and especially Diaz when he came on, who liked to do that, getting behind and then play off, the back four and getting behind. I think that's where his starting position really helped us, because he pushed up and he pressured them. I mean, Salah was pretty much non-existent tonight. We kept him quiet all night.
Yeah,
I think
they only got, sorry to interrupt him, but they only got in behind us once, which was that Nunes start. And Kinski came out and smothered that really well. Great save.
Exactly. Spence on that side had Salah in his pocket all night. He had him completely in his pocket.
I've just seen Grace and Peace in the comments has said Jedi Spence was solid marking Salah.
He was. He had him in his pocket all night. It was great to watch. And this is what we've been asking for as fans, just a performance like this where it shows heart, it shows spirit. And I think, generally, I couldn't be more happy. I think we were just great all over the pitch.
Top man, I've got a couple of super chats I'll bring in now. Yori, thanks so much for this, Yori. He said, did hell freeze over? Big adaptation from Ange, and that was back at 9:17, so I've only just seen that. But just showing that we're willing to play a slightly different way. Good to see. Yeah. And then also from Philly Hotspur saying, Bergvall, man of the match, Solanke, close second. Come on, you Spurs. Well, listen, I'm not going to disagree. I think Dominic Solanke is just an absolute revelation and £60 million well spent. But Kinski... £12 million well spent. Bergvall, 17 million pounds well spent. The signings, and like you said, if there is any truth to this Kolo Muani, rumor, and we can get someone in who is a real option in that forward line, maybe pushing Brennan Johnson to the bench to just be only a proper sub in the second half, then that could be something really strong for us.
Yeah, I think that competition as well for Johnson's place will hopefully make him play better, because he's a good player. We all know what he can do, but it is his work rate going back. I think tracking back, he seems a bit lackluster and a bit lazy when he tracks back. Did
you see that as well, Liam? Because I don't want to be I don't want to make people biased, because I was quite on that today. I love Brennan Johnson. I think he's a very elite player in his, when he's got the ball out ahead of him, or he's in that inside right channel at finishing bottom left or getting into the back post. But surely he has to put it in 110% every time he's on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think going forward, he's great. We know what he can do going forward. But going back, every player has to work back. Every player has to work for the team. You might be put out of position, especially because we play such a high line where, Ped goes down that wing. Brennan, you would expect him to have to track back if Ped's gone high up the pitch. And I don't think he does it often enough. Tonight, I think, because of every player done their job to a man, I think it was great. So he got let off a bit. Yeah. But I think in future, he will need to be tracking back more.
Yeah, Maria says Johnson's been unbelievably underwhelming, very mid. Look, we just need him. We need him to work harder going back, and we need him to get on one of his runs. But anyway, whatever. I do like him as a player. I'm not saying he's not good enough. I think he's a really good, exciting young player. But we just now, especially in this period, we need absolutely everything. Liam, thanks again for being part of the show today. Hope to speak to you after the next game, as per usual, mate. Enjoy your night.
You too. Thank you for having me on.
Top man. Goodbye. Okay, next up, we're going to go over to Brazil and G, one of our regulars. G, mate, tell me your thoughts on the game today.
I'm absolutely over the moon right now. I'm glad you put me on just a little bit later than the other two, because I don't think I could have said a word. I'm just so effing happy right now. Unbelievable performance. I wrote some stuff down, if that's all right, just because I know you're running out of time's a bit of on essence. So let's just have a look, quick run through from mine, because I know probably the easy way. Well, Ange, I've got to say, he's doing what I thought he could do. He's brought in a keeper who's got telepathic communication all of a sudden with his back line. It was unbelievable. I can't believe how brave he was to do that. You know what I mean? This is not a manager that's there for another week or two. This guy's staying. I'm telling you that right now. I've said it before, and I mean it. When he gets the players in, and with the players he's got, when he's working these players like it's unbelievable. I said before the game as well, I thought Salah wouldn't play, and he didn't, which is great.
Because of Jedi Spence.
Because Spence is just, I gave him up there with the man of the match. I got to be honest, because it wasn't just that. He wasn't just dictating that part of the field. He was also telling Werner where to go.
Yeah.
He was signaling him all the time, like, come this side of me, and pushing him into the areas, when he was up front. This guy's immense, absolutely immense. Bergville, I can't say any more than what you've already said. Fantastic. And Solanke just gave it all.
And Scribble Scrabble, I've just put this up. Scribble Scrabble says, let's not forget Dragoshin's amazing save on the line. Yeah, that kept us at 0-0. That brilliant bit of kind of box line defending, very, very impressive, and a good game for Dragoshin as well.
It was. The only thing I would say about Dragoshin's game as such, and I'm not saying it, I'm not trying to put him down. I think that Gray gives Spence a lot more cover than Dragoshin gives to Porro. And that's the thing. I think with Johnson, I want to be the anti whatever was said before. I think there's some stuff there. There's a reason why he was on the bench to begin with, and it's just a shame. God knows what the score would have been for us if Bentincur would have been playing. But I think it's just a shame that that he had to play, and I think he really did have to play. He wasn't down to play this game. He's spent. He's gone. His legs have gone.
I think his legs have gone. Yeah.
And I think it showed, especially towards it. And he was running up and down that line as much as he could in front of Ange. Ange would have been on him all the time. He would have been in his ear all the time. He was right by him. Yeah. And I think towards the end, you could tell that Porro was actually taking over that position. He couldn't run up there anymore. Porro was taking those things away. So I will say that for him. I think he's a great talent, actually. I think he's got his game, and it's up the front there more than it is in defence. Yes, I'll give you that. Normal day.
Do you know what I love about this? Just thinking about it more than anything else is now I feel like we can go into the cup game in the weekend against Tamworth, and we can go into then the Arsenal game away as well with a little bit like, we know that if we put in this effort and we play this well, and we have a keeper now who can start us off in a higher position up the pitch where teams can't just dob one over the top of us easily to score every time, then we can give them a run for their money.
We broke their game doing that. You're absolutely right. We completely broke their game. The rule book of them, I can see him on the touchdown looking down at his little monitor there trying to figure out, how are we going to get around this, That's all I can say. Mate, I'm so happy, Barnaby. We won a terrific victory here. It was like escape to victory, because before this game, I'm the most optimistic person out there when it comes to Spurs normally, but I actually didn't think that we would ever get anywhere near pulling what we pulled off tonight, And I just hope that the players that we have left have the strength to do it. The biggest concern for me, and I was really concerned when I saw Bentincur go down. Wow, that was heavy, man. His neck had gone before he hit the ground. I don't know if you noticed that. It looked like it was something around here.
According to Stu in the comments, that Ange just said in an interview that Bentincur is okay. So I don't know what okay means in this instance, but at least the key thing is he was up and he was breathing and he's talking and stuff. That's obviously his long-term health is the important thing, but it'll be interesting certainly to find out exactly what it was. Listen, G, thank you so much for calling in once again. Thanks for being a part of the show today. Hope to speak to you again after the next one. Thank you, mate. Take care, all right? Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Next time. Oh, I've cut G off a bit quickly there, but I've got to get straight over to another regular, and that is Steve over in the Czech Republic. Steve, you're in the Czech Republic. We've got a Czech star, haven't we?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I was. I found out quite a bit about him before the game, but I had no way of contacting yourself or anyone else for that matter. But really pleased. He had a fantastic game, but I didn't want to put a bock on him and say to people or post it on Facebook or anywhere. This guy is fantastic with his feet. This is his game. That's why he's been scouted. That's why he's been chosen. I was a little bit concerned because it was such an important game for us that was his debut game. Yeah. But apart from that, I've seen the way he can throw the ball up for himself and do a volley down the field like he did in this game, but he did it in a game for Slavia, straight to a winger. It bounced twice. The winger picked up the ball and crossed into the middle, and they scored. The only thing I didn't see... That to me, Steve, is all about the flatness of the delivery, and we've not had a who delivers it both off the floor and with a sidewinder kick who can deliver it flat. And we will, if we get Muani or if we get Odebear back or if Yang plays, when we've got wide pace, that will be an absolute weapon. Yeah, it's a weapon, exactly. And also, like someone was saying earlier on, which we all know, that he reads the game so well. You know, he came off, he's off, he's right out of his box, he's ready for that ball over the top, and he's playing like a sweeper. And his passing is fantastic. You know, he's got something like 84% for Slavia before he left them.
Yeah.
His distribution is not a keeper who just hoofs it up the field, not at all. And tonight he proved it as well. He's a fantastic keeper. He's brave. Yeah. Yes, I'm happy he's from this part of the world. So we've got another connection there with the Czech Republic.
And how did the Slavia fans feel about him getting his big move? Did they think he deserved it, or were they a little bit livid about it?
I think that they thought he deserved it. I think most of them are okay because he was second string for a while because he had at least one good national keeper in front of him. Yeah. His father was a national goalkeeper. If you actually Google Kinski or Wikipedia, you actually get his father. You have to put Junior.
Yeah,
that's how well known his father was.
He played for the national team, didn't he? The dad.
Yeah, and so did young. Well, he's Tony. He gets Tony. He's Antonin, but that's Tony in English, or Anthony, obviously. Obviously they were disappointed, but the good another thing is there was a program recently, a bit like a football focus kind of program, and all the people in the know were sort of talking about his move to Tottenham and what he was like, previous trainers and journalists, and they're saying this guy could be better than Peter Cech. That's how
very different style keeper, but very exciting young talent.
Different style, but in terms of level, status in Premier League football and after that, world football, they're talking, one or two of them were saying, well, this, of course, is a stepping stone for him, Tottenham. And I was like, quite annoyed by that. What do you mean stepping stone? What, to Barcelona? I think there's a bit of pipe dreams there, but really pleased.
Yeah, listen, I've just put on the comments. Ash has said all this Czech talk is making me thirsty for a beer. Good lad. Yeah. Let's go on to Steve and just talk about some of the other performances there. You know, we talked a little bit about Lucas Bergvall. We talked about Dragushin. Solanke, for me, tell me how important you think Dom Solanke is to us even having any chance of winning any games at the moment.
No, absolutely integral to any scoring. The way he held up the defender there, Konate. He had no right to hold him off. He's bigger than him, and he held him off and turned him. And the layoff was, it was perfect under pressure. I think there was someone else inside of him, Kulishevsky maybe, but he played it into Bergvall, inch perfect, and Bergvall took it well. So, Dom, someone was saying earlier on, man of the match. He's up there with everyone. The keeper, I thought Spence was immense. Yeah. He was extremely good and kept Salah quiet tonight, and obviously Bergvall had a great game. Gray was just superb again. That one move in the second half where he picks up the ball and turns inside and sprays the ball wide with the outside of his foot, inch perfect, I think, to Johnson, was fantastic. So over the moon. Obviously.
And Steve, sorry to interrupt, but I've just seen in my periphery, Ange Postecoglou looks pretty what's the right word? Bullish, I'd say. I couldn't hear what he was saying in his post-match press conference or interview there, but he looked bullish. And I think this is a bit of a two fingers up from Ange, don't you think? To all those people who want him out.
I've also got some notes, and I'm really happy, and I really hope finally that this result shuts up a lot of the people who I personally think they don't have any idea much about football. Ange out and all this kind of thing. It's ridiculous. So I'm really happy for Ange. With a not a makeshift team, but we all know it's a very decimated team. Even today, we lost what was his name? Bentincur. We lost Bentincur early on, and I was thinking, oh my God, here we go. And he's beaten the top Liverpool side. They had and they brought on players with 30 minutes to go. What a bench! And we held out and we won. No, superb. I'm so pleased for Ange. I'm pleased for all the fans that keep turning up and paying all their hard-earned money to go and watch these games. Yeah, fantastic. Really pleased for Ange. I know it's a tall order to go to Anfield, but I'm not one that's thinking no way or no chance.
Well,
And
we'll score at Anfield. I think we'll
Yeah,
score at Anfield.
I actually thought we'd draw tonight. I wasn't, because a friend of mine was saying, we're going to getting another hiding again. I said, no, every game's different. It's a cup game, and you just never know. So anyway, I'm very, very pleased.
Steve, brilliant, mate. I've got to get on to some other callers, but
sure.
As ever, thanks for being a part of the show today, and I hope to speak to you after the next one.
Thank you very much, Barnaby. Good night.
Okay, next up, I'm going to Gary. Gary, can you hear me, mate? You're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, please, Gary?
Sorry. How you doing, Barnaby? You okay?
Yes, Gary, lovely to talk to you, mate.
You too, mate.
So, what are your main thoughts on the game today? I'll have to keep it relatively short because running out of a bit of time.
That's fine, mate, yeah.
The long play of the game.
I'll take that all day long, Barnaby. I mean, that was just the performance, the defence in particular, and the goalkeeper. I mean, you think about it, they're all so young. The goalkeeper's 21. I mean, Spence is young. Porro's still young. Dragusin, I know he looks old like me, but he's young. It's just incredible, really. Archie Gray, I mean, I thought he had a blinding game. Bergvall, man alive. Honestly, that boy. I'll tell you what, he's going to be a superstar, that Bergvall.
I agree with you. Listen, Gary,
really
is there the possibility, do you think, that the team, and like you said, the youth, the youngness of this team, that they will take such confidence from this performance that they will go into the game, the next league game away at Arsenal, and be like, we did it against Liverpool. I think we can get something here.
I really hope so. I mean, there's no reason, there's no reason why they shouldn't. After that performance, to me, said emphatically they're playing for Ange. No doubt about that. It's just whether we can now pick up our league form, I think. I think we've given ourselves a great chance. We're still in the tie. That was the main thing about tonight, I feel. Is that we didn't lose by 2 or 3 goals. We've now got something to go there and hold on to, and hopefully we can. But no, really impressed with the performance tonight. Really impressed.
And Gary, how important do you think this victory was for Ange Postecoglou and his future at this club?
Massive. I've just watched his interview on the telly, and you can see the relief. You can literally feel it oozing out of him. I think it's massive for him. And if we can, I expect us to beat Tamworth. I don't think we should have any issue there. I think it's the next 3 league games, starting with obviously that big one. If we can get something out of the Arsenal game, that will give us, that will fuel us with even more confidence going into the next 2. And I think if we can get through that little period there, I think we'll be absolutely fine. If we can bring in 1 or 2 additions in the meantime as well, I think that's very, very key to what's going on.
Okay, Gary, I'm sorry to make it so short, but I've only got about 7 minutes left, mate. But thanks so much for being part of the show, and I'll speak to you after the next one. Top man.
You certainly will. Thanks, Barnaby. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers.
Okay, next up, I am going over to Paul O'Rourke. Paul in Ireland, mate. Tell me your thoughts on that 1-0 win against the country's best team, Liverpool.
How good was that, Barnaby? How good was that? It was an absolute joy. Look, I bet
there are loads of Liverpool fans around where you live as well.
Oh, plenty, yeah. And I'm still getting text messages. But anyway, look, there wasn't a bad performance. There wasn't, but to concentrate on the absolute outstandings. Bergvall is an absolute machine, and he's not even 19 yet. He is incredible. Goalkeeper, absolutely top notch. He even looks physically bigger and better than what we have already. It was always a concern of mine when Vicario came into the club. He just looked very slight, which is where we always had trouble with corners and so on. He was always being bullied. This goalkeeper does not look like he would have an issue in that kind of situation. He looks physically bigger.
Yeah.
I
know. I've also seen enough from some reports and some pictures and videos that his starting position from corners is a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, and as you touched on, even his starting position tonight, it nullified any long ball option for Liverpool. They just couldn't do it. They had no other choice but to put the ball on the floor and play, which in the end suited us because we defended like our lives depended on it, and it absolutely suited us. Their attacking players did nothing. Salah might as well have been sitting next to me on the couch watching the match. He did very, very little. And Absolutely well deserved. Well deserved.
And Paul,
100%.
realistically now going forward, do you think Ange will get the rest of the season and, and he'll turn this round? For me, I was saying towards the end of the watch, I was saying this is going to be a season-changing result, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I'll be honest, I don't think his job was ever in jeopardy. I honestly do think that the powers that be know that this is a 2 to 3 year project, not an 18-month project. And that's how far we're in. We're only 18 months in. Of course, you're going to have bumps in the road, and we're going through an injury crisis that no club would ever, would struggle to get through. Every club would struggle to get through. Yeah. We just happen to be in that position. Just looking forward to what could come down the line on the 6th of February. Chances are we are going to Anfield with Romero, Van de Ven, Sarr, and Maddison not suspended.
And Richarlison available as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Possibly a new striker. We could be going to Anfield with a completely different 11. Never mind just adding 1 or 2 to what we're playing tonight. Yeah. We could be a different animal in a month's time. We absolutely could be.
Paul, I think you're right, and I hope you're right, and I really hope that this is the start of a brilliant second half of the season. Thank you so much for coming on the show and being a part of it. I hope to speak to you after the next one, as ever, Paul. Cheers,
absolutely.
Mate.
Come on, you Spurs.
Okay, got a couple more being very patient, so let's talk to John, who is in Essex. John, thank you for being patient, mate. What are your thoughts on that victory tonight?
Yeah, well, happy. I'm more happy for Ange than anyone else, to be honest. You've had a few people on here tonight. They all know their football, and I'm just sick of hearing all the views of people that don't seem to know anything. Just all this Ange out, and Solanke's no good, and he's no good. He's no good. These people have never kicked a ball, I don't think, because like the guy before just said, he's going to be here for a good 3 years. We could have lost 2-0 tonight. That's still not getting rid of him. And then I read that he's 5-4 favourite yesterday to get the sack out of all the managers. And I just think it's crazy. But yeah, great performance.
I've just put this message up on screen here from Phil C. These past few weeks for the likes of Lucas, Archie and Radu will prove invaluable in their growth and development as pro footballers. Every cloud. And I couldn't agree more. And do you think this could be almost, in a really weird, fucked up way, this injury crisis for the last couple of months could end up being the best thing that ever happened to us?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I did say on here a couple of weeks ago, I'm looking forward to next season already. Because Ange adding that bit longer. Hopefully everyone's back and fit. And I'm looking forward to that already. And I mean, I was on here talking to Chris a week ago, and I said back then, I'd rip Ange's contract up and give him a brand new 5-year one. Have him here for the duration and really sort this club out. Because we've got Archie Gray, Spence and Burville. What are they going to be like in 2 years' time?
Yeah.
We're going to be flying.
Exactly, especially with that keeper. John, I've got one more person I need to talk to, but thank you so much for being a part of it, mate, and I'll talk to you for longer in the next one. Have a great night. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Okay, my final guest, Wes the King. Thank you for being so patient. Wes, tell me your thoughts on that Tottenham 1, Liverpool 0, first leg of the League Cup semi-final victory.
Man, Barnaby, what a match, man. We needed that one. Oh, we needed that one. When Bergvall got that goal, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, thank God, man, we needed that one. I mean, even though the whole situation where they think he should have got carded the second time, that first card he got should never even been a card in the first place. So it's kind of like I think the referee kind of knew, like, I probably bit the bullet right there, and he gave us one. Okay, cool. I take it. And the fact that Bergvall, the way he was
pressing, Van Dijk scraped down the back of Solanke's calf. And
we had plenty of but like the way Bergvall was pressing, the way Archie Gray was playing, that pass from Porro to get it to Solanke finally showed some strength, hold up the ball. One thing about Solanke that a lot of people don't give him credit for, he can pass. He got a lot of assists so far too. A lot of people forget about the assists he's had already this season. A lot of his passes are right in the box, are very good and very poised, and it leads to goals a lot of the time when he gets when he's able to get his foot under it. That was great. We needed that one. I
just want to add one more thing, Wes, that we haven't talked about yet with any of the callers. I think this is the first time I can remember in the last maybe 3 or 4 months where Tottenham have had a day more rest than the opponent. Every game we've had less rest than the opponent. And today we still looked leggy, I thought, at times, but I think that probably helped us.
Yeah, it did. I think one of the ones that one of the reasons that is probably Son looked tired. It's lanky. He showed moments where he wasn't pressing as hard as we used to him on doing, but he was still putting in a shift for us. I think the weak link really was Johnson. I ain't gonna lie. Johnson was, I'm not very happy with him. I'm sorry. I understand he scored a lot of
another day. I've been very negative. I've been very negative about Johnson.
I have to tell the truth. I have to tell the truth of what I've seen.
Before I let you go, Wes, because I'm running out of time, can you just tell me your thoughts on where Ange Postecoglou is now and his future at the club?
Like I already said, I think I agree with a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are jumping back on the train. I've been Ange this whole time. We need a manager that's going to stay here and see his way out with the club and see where he wants to take this club forward. And I think he has the idea, and it's clear he has the players playing for him. Like you have bench players playing for him, and we're getting results against a top team like Liverpool. Like I don't think any other manager would be able to do this with this set of players that he has currently, that he's pretty much been hand strapped to. So yeah, I don't see there's no reason to fire that man at all. All the people saying that, we got all the pundits and stuff saying still they bull crap. They always want to say about us. It's bull crap. Like a lot of them people, I'm surprised because a lot of them are former players. They should know something about football, right? But I don't know. Some of them, I think there's just a hate on us for some reason. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Not
tonight. We can't be hated tonight. Wes, thank you so much, mate, for being a part of the show. Hope to speak to you after the next one, but I'll give you a bit more time. But running out of time now. Thanks so much, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Guys, that is me coming towards the end. If you want to appear on a future episode, calling in, do email tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. Guys, make sure you are a subscriber to Chris's YouTube channel if you're not already, at Chris Cowlin. And if you liked how I brought you this watch along today, please do go to that bottom left-hand corner there, at Barnaby Slater _ is my YouTube channel. That's at Barnaby Slater _ This month, I'm bringing daily transfer talk videos, always starting, of course, with my beloved Tottenham. Then more Tottenham content coming your way in just 3 minutes time on this channel, but a different feed. So go across to the Spurs Chat podcast on a different live feed on Chris's channel. Chris will be hosting it with Craig Dearman, Simon Foxall, and Leo the Lion. And once again, we're absolutely delighted to announce that the Spurs Chat podcast is a finalist at the Sports Podcast Awards 2025 in the Best Team Podcast category. You can vote for it by clicking on the link in the description box below. The closing date for voting is 13th of January, and the winner will be announced on the 30th of January. Chris Cowlin works so hard, guys. Make sure you give him a vote. Let's get him winning that award. But tonight, a game-changing, season-defining, hopefully, result from Tottenham Hotspur. They put in the effort, and they got their reward. An absolutely brilliant debut for Tony Kinski, a brilliant arrival on the scene properly for Lucas Bergvall, and Tottenham can go into that second leg at Anfield when they'll have hopefully many, many more of their first team players back, with a really good chance of making it what I think will be a trophy desperation final against the Geordies. And I think we'll turn the Geordies over in that final. You heard it here first. I think it'll be Tottenham versus Newcastle. I said it on a video earlier this week, actually, on my channel. I think it'll be Tottenham versus Newcastle. And I think Newcastle will need that trophy even more than Spurs. And as a result, Tottenham will do what they've done in both their games against Newcastle this season, outplay them, and this time score the goals to turn them over at Wembley. Maybe I'm hexing it. I hope I'm not, but I'm confident. I'm positive. We've got some very young, exciting talent on the pitch now, getting minutes we didn't think they'd get, and that will help us for the rest of the season. Roll on Tamworth this weekend, and then roll on the Emirates after that. Let's go and beat Arsenal like we beat Liverpool. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Make sure you watch the Spurs Chat podcast. Come on, you Spurs.